Nice. And there's no pictures, Tony. Our
Why?
pictures are not on the screen. That's just lovely.
What'd you do?
I didn't nice. Do anything. And there's no pictures, Tony. There's
Oh Lord.
hold on. Hold on. Ah.
Yeah, oh, and there's just blank screens there.
I know there's just blank screens. There wasn't just a second ago.
Oh, this was such a good idea.
Shut up. Okay, why doesn't it let me just refresh? Capture method, automatic. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Let me deactivate and reactivate. Will that reactivate you? Nope. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. All right, so let me do this. All right. Okay, Tony, entertain people while I try this.
I'm reading the comments. They're making fun of us already. Yes, absolutely. It wouldn't be. See, if you had the cameras working, they'd see the merch throwing right down right now. I'm ready to go. You still got to go get your drink. Got to go get the initial potty break. Oh, good gosh. Watch it plays here. Oh, Lord.
Tony, did it not work? I tested this.
I thought it did.
It was perfect. Hold on. I got an idea. So.
Oh, this is where it goes bad.
No.
This is where it goes bad. I'm glad we're not recording this.
Okay, no. On our screen of you and I see us. It's just not going across.
Oh, there it is. We're here.
We're here. Wait, what happened? It froze.
And now we're froze. Would you go house the...
Okay. I think I know what it is. Are we up?
We're up.
We're up.
What button did you fail to press?
So I told you I was doing something new with this, and instead of using Skype and all the fancy windows, it's like, I'll just capture Google Chat. If you minimize, okay, here's a tip for everybody. If you're using OBS and you minimize the window that you're sharing, nothing shows up. There you go.
Wait a minute. Not that I care, but what was that? What was that tip again? What was that solid tip?
If you minimize the window that you're showing on OBS, it goes away. So, for example, I think, let me see if it goes away. No, it did not go away. I can have it in the background, just don't minimize it. Oh, my Lord. Okay, so here's the deal. Tony entertained them. I never got a drink, so I'm going to get a drink, and then we'll be ready to go.
We'll get it. Okay.
Yeah, David Thompson says, this is what I showed up for? Dude. Come on.
Really? Come on. Oh, David Thompson's on. So I am so excited. I was reading the comments, and someone did a review of David Thompson's game Pavlov's House on iOS. And I said, what? Wait, you mean I'm sitting here playing it in front of me, and I can be playing on my iPad? Last night, downloaded it. $8.99, best dollars I spent on my iPad in a while versus what we're going to be talking about later right here. That I could have saved a lot of money. But anyway, we won't talk a lot about that. But from that standpoint, yeah, bromance, got the squirrel, we're good. So anyway, here's a tip for everybody. Don't try something new before you test it. Unbelievable.
Tony, did I not do a sample recording before we hit live?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Where's the camera so off?
Hush up to me. All right,
so you can tell somebody to go catch a box.
Go catch a box. All right. What are we doing here tonight?
I got something just in case for this. Hold on. Keep talking. You go entertain. I'll be right back.
So let me give some background information about what we're doing. So this is typically how we record. So this is we're using Google Hangouts. So we're keeping it real. What's happening is, if you see, there's a mic here and there's a mic there for Tony. He and I are talking through headsets, and this is basically how you're going to hear us. But both of us have, if you want a little bit of techie stuff, we both have a Zoom recorder. And we have been using these for years. Many people record straight to the PC, but we found some technical, you could get crashes and have some issues. This boy, as long as it's set up correctly, and you'll hear us go through our setup steps in a second, this is super reliable. It's super reliable, and the analog to digital converter in this is top notch. Plus, it has built-in effects with compression. So if anybody ever wants to do any podcasting or audio recording, I highly recommend a Zoom recorder. So this mic is recording our episode, but we're talking to each other through this. So Tony, I was just giving a little bit of technical background of basically how we pull this off.
By the way, there will be costume changes with our sponsors by me. So costumes are provided by Watch It Played, Plaid and Flannel. Thank you, Watch It Played. Oh my God, this thing's long sleeve.
How is the audio? Too hot, too soft? Please let us know. I do know how to fix that.
It's always too hot. It's you and I.
Yeah, yeah, right. All right. So here's what we're gonna be doing. Thank you for everybody that's watching right now. We actually have a pretty good group on both Twitch and here. So thank you so much. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and do a normal recording as if y'all aren't here, so you can see how this works. But as we go along, if you have any questions, please post them in the chat. And at the end of the show, if there's any questions, we'll come back and say, hey, we're going to say this is a live recording, and then we can answer some of the questions that you have. If you have no questions, that's fine. Tony, don't tease this in the intro that we'll answer questions at the end, because somebody may not ask anything, and then we'll just do our typical 30-second outro and we'll be out.
Oh, I already got something to say about the intro, so I'm good to go.
You got something good to say about the intro?
Oh, yeah. Of course I do. My gosh, man. We're ready to go. And yeah.
All right, here we go.
Audio's good. David's reported in. Audio's good.
Thank you, everybody. So what am I seeing? I am seeing the YouTube chat, but not the Twitch. Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff going on. We have not gone through our checks yet. So exclusive view into the nursing home. Appreciate that.
Wow. Woo. I like that.
That's fair. All right. So here we go. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Tony, you ready to hit the record?
All right. First off, bathroom check. Record button.
I'll probably have to go halfway through.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
So I've got flashing light. I'm ready to hit record.
Oh, yeah, flashing light. See, that's step number one, is make sure we have a flashing light. The Zoom has a prep where it's like, so you can check the level. So I've got a good level. I've got 3 hours of recording. This does record on a SD card. I use a smaller one because it seems to boot up quicker, and this records raw WAV for the highest quality.
And I have a large one, because while I wait for Marty to handle all the technical difficulties, then mine will boot up in time.
That's fair. All right, you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, record. Check.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
The clock is
Time
running.
is
Sometimes
running.
we'll show each other the clock to verify it is recording. You got to make sure that the right input down here is selected and that the AC is plugged in, because I've run out of battery before.
And the switch is on the power supply. That's always a beautiful thing.
And I've had the wrong input selected, so it was recording through this. So even though this is super reliable, there still is some user error.
Imagine
All
that.
right. So, Tony, this is episode 227. Do I kick this off or do you?
It's odd. I'm sorry, I can't read the chat. Some people are being funny. So anyway,
Hold on. There are space shuttle launches with more streamlined countdown.
That's what I just read.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I cannot wait to see that, man. All right, here we go.
If you have any questions as you go, please post them. Tony, I don't know the name of the episode. I usually find out now. The name of the episode is...
I put it on your show notes, as always.
No, you did? So where's Vanessa? So Vanessa is in the other room. So another behind the scenes thing. We do not record Vanessa's intro until the entire episode is done, because then I'll take bits and pieces from it and maybe do the intro with her. She writes a lot of the intro. She'll just say, what did y'all talk about? And she'll come up with some really good ideas. So,
moment of silence.
So, hold on. I don't know. She just went walking. She probably does not want to show up on the screen, because I should have got her to come do that. Because I
was going to suggest that.
That would have been funny.
By the way, get your moment of silence.
Thank you. So the moment of silence is because in post we also remove any noise. And by the way, if you ever want any tips on removing noise, like an air conditioning running, I can help you out. I don't know this song, Tony, so okay, we'll just go with it.
It's nice. Yeah, okay.
All right, here we go. In. I've been talking so fast now I'm thirsty.
Man, this episode, nobody will have to put it on fast speed one time, well, 2 times. If you keep talking that fast, we'll be done in 30 minutes.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Make it happen.
Did you want to change the order on any stuff on the intro? Or are you just going to shotgun it?
That's what works for us 226 episodes previously. So, yeah, let's go for it.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This is episode 227, Behold the Nightmare. My name is Marty.
And I'm Tony, and this was being filmed, recorded before a live studio audience until we put them to sleep.
That's exactly right. So as we teased in our last episode, 226, we said we was going to stream this as we recorded so you can see the magic behind what it takes to make an RDTN episode. And if you're listening to this and you didn't get to catch it, you can always go out to our YouTube channel where it was captured there. And so you can see all the silliness and craziness that goes on and see how a 2-hour recording ends up being 90 minutes because of all the junk that was taken out of it. So Tony, this episode is called Behold the Nightmare by Smashing Pumpkins. I understand why you called it this, because if you're watching this, it is a nightmare. What? I don't know this one. Is this a popular song by them?
That I don't know from that standpoint. But when I did a Google search, which is what, as you know, I saw everything I do right before the show. I mean, we're talking right on time stuff here. And when I did songs about invasions, this popped up, and I said, "Oh, checkbox. It's about a game we're going to be talking about, and it is definitely about us live streaming. Behold the Nightmare." I don't need to go any farther than that. Then that's what it is. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, "Yeah, that applies. Okay, it's time to go upstairs. I got to finish up and get up there."
Did you like Smashing Pumpkins?
Did they do the Shrek song?
The Shrek song. You talking about the remake of the Monkey song?
Yeah, no, that wasn't Smashing Pumpkins. No. Who was that?
No. By the way, no $5 errors in this episode if you're watching live. If you catch it after it's recorded, that's great. I don't remember who it was. It was a horrible remake. I don't remember.
Okay. So they didn't do the Friends show one, did they? There you go.
That one?
So no, I'm not a big fan of the Smashing Pumpkins. Like I said, type in songs about invasion, and this popped up, and I said it could not be more perfect. And I know we haven't used it.
Vanessa liked it. Okay, I said I wasn't going to interact with the chat as we go Smash Mouth, because a lot of people are probably screaming at the radio. A lot of people are screaming at the radio right now, saying,
How many? So that's 2 times you've air quoted. So are we going to keep it running, Pat?
And yeah.
So I know this is another. Yeah. What?
Big announcement. We got to kick it off with this. So
I know that's what I was leading to. I was going to transition to it. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal your transition.
I'm drinking Cheerwine tonight.
Uh-huh.
And in the future, in about 6 to 8 weeks, what will we be drinking?
Sir, we will be drinking a Peep flavored Pepsi, because thanks to everybody on Twitter who liked and shared the photo of me sitting on a lawnmower drinking a Pepsi, we won the Peep Pepsi contest, and we're being sent, I'm not sure how many cans of Peep. 4 cans? That's it?
4 cans. That's it. It's 4 8-ounce little cans, 2 of the same flavor and 2 different flavors, if I remember the image correctly.
Wait a minute, you said 4 the same flavor, 2 different?
No, 2 the same. And then 1 another flavor, and 1 another flavor equals 4. Okay.
That's hard.
So yes, it is. But anyway, so yes, that's what, if I remember correctly, maybe they liked it so much that they'll send you a case. I don't know, but it's 3,000 millions entered and 3,001, and we were one of the lucky ones. So thanks to everyone who supported that effort, because we love tasting those weird flavors. And I'm kind of apprehensive about this.
I'm apprehensive. I'm not assuming this is going to be good. And it's funny when I told Vanessa about, she was excited. She said, "I you got to do this live, like on video."
Mhm.
And I said, "Well," I said, "No, because hardly anybody will watch that. Most people want to hear it on the episode." So, Tony, if this works out okay, maybe in 6 to 8 weeks we do another live episode where we do the taste test for the podcast episode and do this live so people can see it if they want to see how this turns
Uh,
out.
a live action hurl. I'm good with that.
I'm again, it's going to be super sweet, and I only drink like zero sugar stuff now, so it's going to be super sweet. But hey, I'm excited to try it. I'm excited we won, and thanks to everybody who shared it. Also, got to make a correction, Tony, from our last episode.
I'm not done with that. I am not
You're
done
not
with
done
that.
with that. No transition yet. Okay, I'm just going
No
to slide
transition.
away.
So Pepsi Zero Sugar, which you have in your hand, have you tried the new Pepsi Zero Sugar Mango?
There's a mango zero sugar.
Yes.
I didn't know this. I knew there
You were
was a
go-
Pepsi mango. I didn't know there was a zero sugar.
It only comes, well, in my grocery store, my local Harris Teeter or Food Line, it only comes in 12-ounce cans. So I got the 2-liter regular Pepsi just to make sure I could take. And I'm telling you, when it comes up to your nose, that mango effervescence gets up in there.
Effervescence, like the
Yeah,
band.
that one. They have a new song coming out or a new album.
Oh, cool.
One
I
of
know
those
you're a big
two.
fan of them.
I am a big fan. So from that standpoint, I was like, I got to try these. So what if I go before game night? I'm hoping to go by the store, grab a 12-pack, and then I'll bring you a can of Pepsi Mango, 0 calorie, zero, and you can try it out and we can do a live taste. I've already tasted it. It's very good. I enjoyed it.
Um, I tried a Sprite zero sugar over the weekend. Never haven't. I was not a fan of Diet Sprite, but it was really good. Are you say you're drinking a cheer wine?
Yeah, I'm drinking the
Is that the zero sugar?
please.
Or is that a
it's
real
cheer
one?
wine. Cheer wine's only drunk real.
Well, so no, I was asking because I never did care for diet cheer wine, but I saw in the store this week there's a cheer wine zero sugar. So I wonder if they changed
Ooh.
the formula.
I'll have to go hunt that down. These were on sale at the Wally World, so I had to grab it. I love Cheerwine. Oh, it's so good. And Cheerwine freezers or slushies. Oh, so good. So good. Oh, my head.
And for those who have no idea what we're talking about, cheer wine I guess, is only in the South. Is that right? Mainly in the South?
I don't know if trucks can go that far, but probably, yeah.
I know that they had it in Columbus because at the Hot Nashville chicken restaurant that we go to up there, they had it in the freezer. And one time we went, and I was with Rodney from Watch It Played, and I said, "Oh, cheer wine," and he tried it and absolutely fell in love with it. So whenever I see him, I try to throw some cheer wine into the suitcase so he can smuggle it back across the line.
Yes. So I'm excited that we can transition now. I'm done.
Smooth.
As it should be. You can edit it. You can do it in post editing. I don't care how you do it. Just let's transition to your next point that you screwed up again. That you're costing this show $5 weekly, close to $15. I don't know.
Will you shut up? All right, so I had to make a correction from our last episode, Tony. In 226, I felt pretty darn confident that there was an expansion to Star Wars Outer Rim. I honestly thought I had seen a press release for Star Wars Outer Rim, and in fact, I was potentially incorrect. Oh no, I know I was incorrect because this past
Potentially.
week, a gentleman, Batman15 over on BGG, sent me an email and he said, "Hey, in your latest episode at about the 57-minute mark, you say there's an expansion of the Star Wars Outer Rim. I can't find that anywhere. Was that a mistake? If not, can you direct me where to find it? I love that game." I was like, oh no. So I searched high and low. It's like, nope. And I said, "Sir, would you like a $5 gift certificate to Miniature Market?" He went, "Wow, thank you." So I had to pay up a $5 certificate.
That's the way to get everybody listening. I tell you, we just need a segment of the corrections. You know, just like the paper, usually turn it to the back page.
What is
That's
that
what.
called?
Erda? I don't
Errata, no. Um, yeah. So anyway, so yeah. Uh, thanks for catching that. There is no expansion of Star Wars Outer Realm. I think there should be. I think there should be like a
know.
Mandalorian. I mean, that kind of happens on the Outer Rim. Maybe timeline that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But anyway, it'd be cool to have some new characters and some new locations and everything.
So I thought there was, but then again, we haven't played it in so long. I was getting excited, maybe another way to get it to the table, but now all my hopes are crushed.
Dashed up against the rocks.
Dash, and that's fine. Speaking of dashing my hopes against the rocks,
Uh-oh.
so you have been, and this is being talked about everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
This new Nintendo Switch game, Monster Hunter Rise.
5 million copies have been shipped from Capcom so far as of last week.
So I'm trying. I am really trying. This. It's an amazing game. It's got the stuff I'll enjoy in it. It's got some crafting. It's got multiple weapons. It's got exploration. It's got little side quests you can do. Today I was out there collecting mushrooms. But for the life of me, I can't kill a thing. I cannot kill anything. It's I don't know. I'm not a monster hunter. Maybe I should be playing Pokemon Snap and be Monster Hunter Snap. I don't know.
So here's the thing. If you're facing real monsters, know that you're going to be in a fight. Right now, for you and I, the first level, you're going to be in a fight for 20, 25 minutes before you.
That means a lot of potions for me. I'm just going to run around the world collecting the herbs. That's what I'm going to have to do.
Hey, I do like that. Auto crafting on the potions when you collect the herbs. So I guess it really turns on your weapon. So I'm doing dual swords. Dual
wield. You're wielding, man.
Yeah. And so they have a demon mode. And the bad thing about the demon mode, if you get hit, you're immediately knocked out of it. But once you go into it, it does some serious damage. And it's really a combinations of, a bunch of the A's and the whatever the button is at the top.
X.
Yeah, X. A's and X, or hit them together. And then I just try to learn the monster, like the guy I was facing the other night would whip his tail. And when I would see it coming, I'd roll out of the way, etc. So it's just learning how to read the monster and use your weapon. So maybe the sword and shield is not the right weapon for you.
It may not be. I don't know. I mean, I am trying to learn it, and I've got to learn the button. I'm just smashing A and X, A and X, A and X. Oh, good gosh, ZR. Oh, look, I launched some wire bug somewhere. A lot of fun. I think my buddies are doing more damage to the monster than I am. So that's fine.
Your cat
I'm
and
good
your
with
dog?
That. The cat and the dog, Cannon and Fodder. Those are their names.
That's good. It took me forever to come up with names. I don't even remember what their names are, but it's not that good.
Okay.
But so we're you and I, so now that you got a little bit of experience, you and I need to hook up and do some multiplayer.
Yes. I want to give that a try before I say, you know what? Going to the Discord channel, who wants it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, super popular game. Maybe actually game of the year from what a lot of people are saying. It's got really good reviews.
Yeah. And I am so proud of you for finally picking an electric powered weed eater and blower.
Well, the both of mine went kaput, so I had to get something. And I went with the budget line, not too expensive, Greenworks. But I made sure to get so that each one has a battery. So I've got 2 chargers and 2 batteries.
Okay. So you won't be able to, I mean, that yard of yours, whew, I could see where you could go through 2 of them.
Oh, no. I mean, trimming takes no time because it's just trimming around the house. Because with the 0 turn radius, I can pretty much navigate.
0 turn?
Yeah, I can navigate wherever I need to go.
Okay. Well, I got to use an electric power washer for the first time. And that thing, I didn't think it had a lot of power.
How does electric work? Because I'm looking at possibly getting one because my dad and I shared a gas powered and he said the engine's kaput.
Okay. You're kaputting a lot of stuff.
Everything breaks at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Well, it's a Greenworks, and it's a. So I was thinking that it was also battery, but it's not. You have to plug it in to build up all the pressure, and it did a great job. I like how it did some easy cleaning, and I like how Donna did the old Tom Sawyer routine on me. She goes, "Well, I'm going to try it and wash my car." Well, Rebecca called her right in the middle. So I got to finish it. And I hate washing cars. Oh, I hate washing cars. But it worked really well. And I was just like, okay, this is doing good job. So I then, you know how you
This
start
is
one thing?
doing good job.
This is doing a good job. Don't, you can edit that. So
Oop.
nope, you can't do that, can you? So I'm I'm like, you know how one thing leads to another. So I finish up the car and this thing's out.
Right now, that
All
song's
right.
in my head. Thanks.
Okay. And then I moved to, well, the steps need to be pressure washed to get the winter grime off of it, which then, oh my God, I just hit the sidewalk. So I got to clean that. I'll just stop at the first one. Oh, good gosh, I just hit the second one. And it just led on. So 2 hours later, so that's one thing. I don't know how much electricity I use, but I work for the power company. Don't, that's okay. But I would have probably emptied a couple of gas tanks there trying to get all that done.
So that's good to know because I need one. And do you have the wand? It has the rotating blade underneath it.
My neighbor does, and he's going to let me borrow it.
Oh, dude, do not do any of your decks or driveways or sidewalks without that. It does it in a fraction of time.
Did you just listen to me? I just said I did my sidewalk.
Don't do your sidewalk unless you get one of those little spinning attachment things.
I appreciate that. Ah, that's a good idea. I think I will hold off on that. Man,
Check this out.
it's a book.
It's a
You're
book.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you for reading. Does it have big font?
It does. So this is a really cool book that we got from Peterson Games. It's the Anatomical Guide to Lovecraftian Horrors. And looking at it, and I can show this really works well on a podcast. If I show you pictures, it shows like different of the aliens and monsters and stuff, but it has like anatomical pictures of if you did like autopsies and cut them open, what they would look like. Isn't that
So,
crazy?
so if I can go back to my Monster Hunter, so if I were to harvest them for parts,
Uh huh.
there you go. I could have my book, my hunter's notes
Yeah, and
for my. Mhm.
it has like little bits of information about how big they are, where they're from, and stuff. I don't know. This is a really cool thing to basically add to our Arkham Horror or Lovecraftian library. And
Mhm.
Vanessa, for her birthday, not for her birthday, for Christmas, her brother got her a cookbook called the Necronomicon.
Ah, I see what they did there.
So all the recipes in the book are Lovecraftian themed.
Has she cooked one yet?
She has not, but she does have it on her bookshelf, and I'm sure it will come out if we get to do Boobacue this year. I'm sure she will do something.
I'm I'm hoping we. I mean, we've taken our shot.
Oh, you mean the
So
vaccine?
yeah, we
Oh,
got
I
our.
just thought you meant in general. We've taken our shots as throughout
Yeah,
life, which we have.
I know. Yes. So we should be able to. That should be a fun event, and hopefully things. We still got to figure out what we're doing for cons. I don't know.
I
It's
don't know
hard
either.
telling.
Uh, do we even have the room reserved for the strike tournament at that time? We probably
Oh,
don't.
oh, crap. Note.
Write a note to cancel the reservation for the original Gen Con in August. That would have been bad. Yeah,
Cancel
Rolling Dice and Taking Names,
reservation.
you have a deposit that you need to make for not showing up and doing your little tournament thing. Your little tournament. Use the air quotes again.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to do that. I'd completely forgot about. Oh, okay. If I had Alexa up here, I'd yell at her and tell her to do a reminder for me. But that's okay. Oh my heavens. So, and then I hear that you also had another horror event recently. You played.
Hold on, looking
You
at,
could.
looking at show notes. I don't know where he's going. A
I
horror event.
understand. Yeah, you were online learning how to play a coin game with our favorite person up north. Is that true? Cuba Libre? Is that it?
Yes. So, coin game, counterinsurgents game. I've had the game Cuba Libre on my shelf for years. Never played, and I was always intimidated by it. And I was always looking to, okay, how am I going to learn how to play this game? Is there any good tutorial videos? And they're all like super long. And it was just one of those things. It was an achievement. I had it on a bucket list to get it done. So Rodney from Watch It Played had played a couple games, and he reached out and he said, "I know you have this, and I feel I know it well enough to possibly be able to teach you. Are you interested?" I
He's
said,
such a good friend.
"Yeah."
He's
I
such a
said,
good friend.
"Yes, sure, thank you." And he made a video showing how to set up the game. So he sent that to me. So I got the board out, punched. I mean, it wasn't even punch, man. Punched everything out, went through, got everything set up. He said, "All right,
So it's like a normal game night. Okay.
yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm
that's fair.
teasing you.
That's fair. That's fair. I deserve that. I deserve that." And so he said, "All right, when you want to learn the rules, instead of me doing a video, let's just do a live chat Zoom." And I said, "Great." So we get on, and he basically has his board set up, and he basically spends about an hour going through the rules of the game. And it's like I'm just, boy, it's just I'm trying to soak everything in. There's so much going on. Uh, this game, Cuba Libre, historically is about Fidel Castro coming into power in Cuba. There are four factions. They're asymmetric. They all play totally different. And so it's one of those things that, wow, I've got to learn what this one does and this one does and this one does. And he did an amazing job over that hour teaching the game. By the way, we need to do another crowdfunding because for a private tutorial from Watch It Played is super expensive. So I'm just saying we may have to dip into our bank accounts to cover that cost.
Okay. Keep going.
So anyway, so over Easter weekend, we started playing. Now what we were doing is he would take a turn and video it, and then send it to me. Then I would make those adjustments, video my turn. Well, come to find out, we both had some free time just to be able to get on live. So then we started playing back and forth, and ended up playing through an entire game in about 3 days. It was about 4 sessions. Probably took us 3 to 4 hours total to get it done. I tell you, man, I absolutely loved it. Loved it. So before I even played the game, I wanted to understand historically what was going on. And I found a documentary on Netflix called something Cuba Libre, which is basically the history of Cuba. And it's 8 episodes. And I watched through the fourth episode, which basically got me through the time period that this game was based on, so that I can learn about the history of the game. And then when I see these event cards, you've played Twilight Struggle, right? You know, the event cards and everything, they're historically based on things. When I saw these, I could appreciate what they meant. And the rules actually tell you the historical significance of each card. So when I learned the players, like, Batista was the president, I had no idea who that was at the time. I didn't understand the fact that he was at first a good president, then he came into power. He was an oppressive president. Then Castro said, "I'm going to come in, I'm going to liberate the people." That got people excited. Then Castro came into power. Rest is history there, went to communist, and that never goes well. So, but anyway, so I understood all the players. So then I started playing the game, and I was playing, as oh, I know this person, or I know this event from watching that documentary. But Tony, the beautiful thing about this game is, yes, it's asymmetric. We like our asymmetric games, but it's how the actions work. And from what I understand, a lot of coin games are like this. I also have Liberty or Death from our good friend Harold Buchanan. Remember we did an event with him at Gen
Yes.
Con? I looked at it, it works the exact same way. So what happens when you turn an event card over? It shows you the order that the factions will activate that turn. So if we're if we're playing, by the way, we did 2v2, so you each control two factions. So that's how that works. So the first faction has a choice to take an action. One of the actions they can do is take a regular action that they have an option plus a special activity. So it's like they get to do two things at once, and the special activity is always good. If they take that, then the person who goes next must take the action that's adjacent to that or right beside it, which would just be a limited action or the event. So one of the options you can do is also play the event card, whatever's on the event. So you can take one of your actions. You take one of your actions with a special action. You can play an event card, or you can pass. And so a lot of people think, why don't you always do the special action with this special action? Here's why. It's because the event card I might not want you to do. So if I don't want you to do that event card, what I will do is just do a regular action with no special, And then your only option is to do what's called a limited action. Typically, when you take an action, you can do it among many areas or regions. A limited action, you can only do it once. So the first person has a big decision to make. Regular action was special, an event. And if you take the event, if me as the first player takes the event, you then have the option of taking a action with the special action. So I just love that. And then pass. There may be times where you decide, I'm going to pass, because once two people have taken their turn, they go to the exhausted area, and then a new event card comes up, and the two factions that didn't go get to go this turn. So you're only really, unless you pass, you're taking an action every other event card. But it's that simple mechanic of which of these things am I going to do? Do I want to leave my opponent the option to use that event card? Do I want to leave my opponent the option to do a special activity? Do maybe I want to pass because you flip over the upcoming event card and it's like, ooh, I want to try to get that event, and I see that my faction would go first in that next event. I'll pass and then wait for that next event card to come up. That is the beauty of the game that I love so much.
So one of the things about Twilight, when I play it on the iPad, never played it in real life, even though it's sitting on your shelves. Just it was not knowing the cards. Did you feel you were at a disadvantage for that you did not know the cards?
The event cards or the faction abilities?
Yes.
Okay. The event cards, no big deal. They're really straightforward.
Okay.
It didn't matter, and you don't go through the entire deck. So what happens is, it's kind of like it's Pandemic. So you have four in this game. You have four propaganda cards. You split the decks up into quarters, shuffle a propaganda card in each one. When you hit the propaganda card, you stop, and then you start doing some evaluations. There's an income phase. You check to see if somebody's won the game. There's a few other things that you go through. But if somebody's won the game, it just ends. But if you get to the fourth propaganda card, and you probably hadn't gone through the deck at that time, the game just ends, and then there's a tiebreaker to determine who won the game. So the thing was learning what each faction does. So in my learning game, I was spending time understanding. I was playing the Syndicate and the July 26th group, which is basically Castro. Wow. Fidel Castro's group. And they kind of worked in concert together. Rodney was playing the government, and the Syndicate, or like a mob. So everybody had their own victory conditions. So I had to learn what each person's victory condition was, try to keep Rodney from winning his victory condition, he winning his condition. Again, the thing was the action selection. That was the best part of the game. And now that I know it, I'm ready to teach it and play it with somebody. So if you ever want to learn it, like, it's in my mind right now where I feel like I could teach it. But a big thanks to Rodney for taking time to do that, because there's no way I would have played the game. I feel like I've leveled up as a gamer. I feel like that's an achievement unlocked. I've become a more mature gamer because I've got to experience a coin game. Not that you need to experience a coin game to become a more mature gamer. For me, that was just one of the things I always wanted to do. Like when I wanted to play a miniature game at one time, I learned how to play a miniature game. When I did, it's like, ooh, achievement unlocked. I reached that point.
So I'm just sitting here thinking about that. Is it something you can quickly pick up and learn?
Here's the thing. The action selection, 100%, I can teach you that real quick. But what I can do is, and I got to give credit to GMT. Yes, the rule book, oh my gosh, it's dry. It's like the rules reference guide from FFG. You know how everything is like 1.1, 1.1.2.
I can get into that. That's a technical manual. I can appreciate that.
But there's not a lot of examples in that. But the faction cards, once you understand the wording, and every little word must be paid attention to, then the faction cards, honestly, all you need. It kind of explains everything. If you're unsure of something, it does have a section that says see 3.4.5 to see what this really means. And then from that, honestly, you can. So, I'm in to coin games now. I'm anxious to play this again. I'm anxious to play Liberty or Death, because now that I understand how it works, it's just learning, okay, in this game, here are these four factions, and here's how they work, and here's their win conditions. But my turn, I understand how my turn works.
All right, tell me when. We'll make this happen. I'm sure we can figure it out.
It'd be interesting to play with four people because each person's then controlling just one faction.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And time frame on this? If you're talking 4 people, you know my limits.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
If everybody knows
Three,
the
3 hours, 4 hours.
ooh, wow. Hmm.
If it's your learning game, 100% 3 to 4
Okay.
hours easily.
Well, you know where the grumpy meter is.
Well, here's the
You know.
beauty. When I started playing with Rodney, I wasn't even trying to win. I was basically like, I hadn't done this action. I want to see what this action does. Oh, okay,
Hmm.
that's how that works. I'm going to do this action. How's this action work? So I was spending my time, and it's only like 4 actions per faction that you have to learn. And some of them are crossover. Some of them like have the same name and kind of work the same way.
Okay.
But I was so happy to be able to do that. And we're going to try to do a 4 player game over like play by mail, sort of deal, play by video at some point in time, so I don't forget how to do it.
Okay. Well, let's just get it planned. Figure it out. I'm sure we got nothing else we need to do. Oh, yes, we do. We're going to be spending 3 to 4 hours on our next live stream of doing Stronghold Undead.
Yes, yeah, we got to get that to the table. We got to learn it. Nazi said he would come on and with us and make sure we get the rules right, which is probably the best thing to do.
But that wouldn't be us.
No, but oh my gosh, dude, we got slammed for War Chest Siege for screwing up the rules. It's like
Which one?
the live stream that we did because
No. What rule did we screw
I
up?
don't remember. Just because we didn't know that very well at the very beginning, and we were
Oh,
referencing rules. It did look bad. That was one of those you had to go in 20 minutes. We wanted to get it to the table and see what it was like. So we should have prepped better on that, but we did not.
okay. I know. I mean, but it came back. It's one of those things. You got, yes, we should have prepped better, but hey, you were happy with the camera turning on, and that's fine. We can do that when we're together, because Lord knows people need to see these faces more. Yes, I please. I don't want to hear this crap. Oh, speaking of crap, not that we've been speaking of it, but this is my transition. What is this crap that you have posted in the show notes about PSA, which is the ranking authority of baseball cards, is saying no more? We can't handle the work. What is this? What is this crap about?
So remember in the previous episode where I talked about people are like all of a sudden selling their baseball cards, Pokemon cards, Magic cards, etc. Well, not everybody's trying to get them graded. So PSA is just overwhelmed and said, "Stopped. We're not taking any more new cards for the next quarter because we got such a backlog to get done." And the problem is, they said, is everybody's sending in these new cards whose value will not be maintained, and it's ticking off a lot of the people who are trying to get old cards. What's the word? Old
Graded?
cards graded.
Graded.
Wow.
GRAD. Yeah.
Trying to get the old cards graded, and then that's basically knocking them out of being able to sell their stuff. And it's basically just people going into a Target, Walmart, buying a pack off the shelf, taking a rookie card and sending it off to PSA.
That's a lot of money to, well, whatever.
I don't know. It's insane. And today I just read that the new Flesh and Blood box is coming out is going up like crazy. The Digimon collectible card game is starting to gain traction. I watched Alpha Investments the other day. He said, "Is Pokemon in a bubble?" He went, "Nope." He said, "Remember a couple of years ago when you could have walked into anywhere and bought a box of Pokemon at a discounted price?" He said, "Those days are over." He said, "I'm telling you, this is not a bubble. It may level out, but it will never go back to the way it was."
So, walking in to Goodwill 2 years ago,
Oh boy.
300 Pokemon cards
Oh my gosh.
for $1. Okay, whatever. I can't, and I've gone through all of Rebecca's stuff. That's the room, I record in, and I can't find them. She thinks she got rid of them. She thinks she kept them. She doesn't know. And I'm like, oh, baby girl. She thinks she gave it to a friend of hers who was really into it. And I was like, okay, fine. Then I'm just going to stop looking for it. So I can't believe that. that it has gotten this crazy over these
I
things.
mean, that's never happened to PSA before.
Yeah.
Basically, they raised their prices and they still got swamped.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, mine are just going to stay here at the house. I'm not even going to worry about it anymore. I'm not going to even try to. I said I was going to get them to you to grade them. No, not going to deal with it.
There are other grading companies, but they even said that Beckett may um, turn off
Stop.
their stop top. And then there's another one like a BS or BSG, something like that. It's a cheaper graded version where the value isn't as much if you get it graded from them. But anyway, so cards still going crazy, and I missed the boat, and that bums me out. But you know what? I didn't miss the boat on is Cursed City from Warhammer came out, and this is the big co-op game that's based in the Age of Sigmar universe that introduces vampires. And I got a copy of it, and can't do a full review yet because I've got everything put together. 60 models. They are all pushed to fit. Incredibly gorgeous models. I only had to use one dab of glue the entire time. It did take me a while to get them together, but they're done. And there's different. So it's a co-op played over a campaign. The first one's kind of an intro. It's somewhat dry because it's a regular hunt mission. I know a lot of people have been checking it out. Joel Eddy did a review on it. He likes Blackstone Fortress better, the 40K version. This one is. That's because so far there's no like range monsters, and the way they activate the monsters activate as a group as opposed to individually, which I thought I would like that better. But anyway, I need to get some more playtime in it before I fully talk about it. But I said I didn't miss the boat because it's already sold out. So they went on pre-order, $200 a box, gone. I mean, when something comes out from Games Workshop, and if you have a little bit of interest in it, you better pre-order.
Well, what about from your overseas boy? What's Adam saying? Has he reported back on this?
Well, I mean, of course he's excited because he loves the vampire. And he's just like, I just want the vampire models. May not play Cursed City, but I want to use them in Age of Sigmar Army. Just like Warhammer Underworlds has a brand new vampire set coming out this weekend. So he's all about that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention Cursed City for Games Workshop. I didn't miss the boat on that. I just need to get some more time into it before I can really give my thoughts around it. But I will say, models are gorgeous. At $200, I know that's insane, but 60 models from Games Workshop, that's worth $200 because the latest Warhammer Underworlds, which has 4 vampires, is $40. So that's effectively $10 a model that you're paying, and here you're getting 60 for.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it put together, and I can't wait for you to teach me. You got a lot to teach me, man.
I do.
I don't think you got enough time. You got to figure this out. I got all the time in the world, man. What? Well, the rest of the stuff is you. I don't know why I got to do the transition.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Then you need to provide more stuff in the show notes for you to talk about.
Because if I did, this thing would go on forever and we never get to the games.
All right, so one thing I got it. So one thing I did finish was, I know you don't care, but a lot of the people in Discord do. So I finished an anime show called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Hey, whoa. I even took the time to look this up and you deleted my notes.
Because it was shenanigans.
It wasn't shenanigans. It was the truth. Tell me where I'm wrong. Go ahead and talk about it, and then tell me how my notes were wrong, and I will say my notes.
It's not. It's based on a manga, and it's a really out there story about a jujutsu sorcerer who swallows the finger of a cursed being, and now that being is inside of him. So the goal is to try to get all the rest of the cursed fingers so that he can't reassemble and come and like be a bad guy.
And when I read that, I was like, what? So if this guy gets fed cursed parts, the world's going to explode? Yeah, this is right up Marty's alley.
It's an odd one. I will say at the very beginning of it, we were really into it. As the further we went along, Vanessa's like, I am so lost. I was lost too. The past couple episodes, I was super lost. One thing is there's a lot of characters in it, and I can't keep up with everybody's name. But anyway, it was recommended. Jujutsu Kaisen just came out last year. checked it out. I'm trying something new, Tony. A new experience. I'm trying to do anime. The next thing I want to play, I'll play. Next thing I want to watch is Demon Slayer. So I've heard like 26 episodes. I heard it's a little bit easier to digest, somewhat like Death Note is. But anyway, so I will check that out.
This is obviously, I mean, the other night we were watching a CBS show. Shut up to me. We were watching Clarice.
Oh yeah. Based on Silence of the Lambs.
Yes. And everybody says, oh, you don't need to have watched Silence of the Lambs. You'll understand it. You'll understand. So we're watching, and Dawn looks at me and she goes, I don't understand this. And I go, I understand. And then we watched Debris. That one's going to be, that's an NBC show. And I think it's NBC. That one's, I thought, sci-fi, weird stuff. I could do this, X-Files kind of stuff, right? Man, I just need something happy and I don't have to think about it. That's where I am right now in my life. I can't help it.
I just need something happy. I don't need to think about it.
I just, if I'm going to watch TV, just entertain me. I don't need anything else. And I know you got one more event coming up. You're doing something online again?
No, I've already done it.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, this past weekend was the Board and Dice Con, and I got invited to do a play. And I want to talk to you about this because I got to do a demo of Zapotec, who is the designer of Kalimala and Ragusa.
Mm-hmm.
And you liked Kalimala, right? That is the one that was, oh my gosh, how can I make you remember this?
Prevagen. Prevagen would help me remember.
Prevagen, yeah. So this was the one where, what is it? Indigo or pieces of cloth or something, and you're having to ship things around on a board. Wow, if I showed it to you, you would know it because you really liked it. I know you weren't a big fan of Ragusa, but I was going to tell you that Zapotec is more in the line of Kalimala than it is Ragusa. So it has more of that same feel. So I got to play online. I enjoyed the game. It's pretty easy to learn. It's one of those games that moves quick. I like it because it feels like, oh my gosh, this is over before it needs to be over. I had so much more to do, which I appreciate. It's going to be coming out at the end of the year in the U.S. exclusively on the BGG store here in the U.S., but then will be released to regular distributors next year. So anyway, got to play Zapotec. I was excited to try that out. That's coming out from Boards and Dice. And I got to do this cool segment where we talk about our top 5 most iconic characters of all time. That was a fun thing to do with like our buddy Scott Morris. He was on that too.
Okay. And your top 5 iconic characters?
Of all time. And what I did was they kind of left it wide open, but I did mine based on medium. So I did one for literature, comics, TV, movie, video games.
All right,
so let's see how good you are. Literature's going to be tough, so let's skip that. Video game. Do you have any clue who my favorite character is in video games?
Your favorite character in video games? Oh, I'm going to say Metroid person.
Samus. Very good.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
There we go.
One for one.
All right.
Comics. You might have a good shot at this one.
Comics, you're always DC, and I thought Green Lantern was your favorite, but it's actually The Flash.
You're 2 for 2. You're killing it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little bit tougher now. So, movie.
Movie, your favorite movie character?
Iconic movie character.
Iconic movie character. That would have to be, let's see, your favorite movies. Yeah, I'm not even going to get close on this. I'm going to probably go out there and just say Han Solo.
You're in the ballpark. Indiana Jones.
I was going to say Indiana. I was going to switch because I was thinking he's like me. Harrison Ford's always one of his favorite actors. So, okay, Indiana Jones.
Okay. TV? Maybe you'll know.
Buffy.
Dang! If you could pull literature out, there's no way you're going to get literature. I don't think I've ever said this because I actually had to think about it for a second before I got one. It's like, wow, this is one of those characters that I read about, and then everything this character's in, I enjoy. Or the world that this character's in.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get it because it's not anywhere near mine. So it's definitely not Harry Potter. And ones that you've read. I got nothing. I can't think. Nope. I don't have an idea. Who is it?
It is Dracula.
Dracula, interesting.
I just always liked vampire lore.
Okay, yes.
And I
Yeah.
read Bram Stoker, and I thought, man, this is a really cool character. And then I was watching all those old black and white Dracula movies. Buffy has the vampire thing.
I should have gone with it. Yeah. So, okay.
So, I mean, just out of curiosity, do you?
Oh,
I
Lord.
assume your most iconic comic book character is Spider-Man.
Of course. That's an easy one.
Do you know what your video game one is?
My video game one, iconic character. No, because I don't have that video game background like you do, where there was a series.
What
I
about
mean, yeah, no.
TV or movie? Would you have one in either one of those?
It'd be Indiana Jones.
Okay.
That'd be easy. That'd be
And
easy
TV
enough.
is probably Magnum PI.
TV, Magnum PI. Well, it'd be
MacGyver.
Tom
Captain
Selleck,
Kirk.
guy. Kirk. Actually, it's John
Picard.
Picard. There you go.
Actually, I would have guessed a Star Trek person.
Yeah, and then as far as books go, I've always enjoyed the Stainless Steel Rat series.
I don't know that one.
And yeah, there was a lot of books growing up. The Stainless Steel Rat series, and I forget the name of the character that was in it, so I'd have to look that up. But anyway, so my heavens, what an intro!
Hold on, one thing left. One thing
Oh,
left.
gosh.
Today, the BGG Golden Geek nominations opened up.
And after this intro, we appreciate your thought you were going to support us.
I guess I should have mentioned that at the very beginning of the intro.
Yes.
So yeah, when this episode comes out, there'll be like 2 days left in voting. We would love your vote. You can vote for as many podcasts as you want. We've got it like 6 years in a row nomination. Bridesmaid is A-okay with us. We would just like to be a bridesmaid. So we'd appreciate you going there, voting for your favorite game, and voting for your favorite podcast. And to enjoy what you hear, we would love a nod in our direction.
Or
Or
I'm good with a sympathy vote. I'm happy with a sympathy vote.
sympathy vote. Yeah, that's good too. So again, Gold Geek awards are up, and you can just go out to bg.com and vote today. And that, everybody, is how you do an intro segment.
Woo!
Ooh, how long did we go on that? Let's see. Oh,
2
my
hours.
gosh. Oh my gosh. And we have 3 reviews to do tonight. But that's it. So we have no other sections besides that.
Yeah.
Do
All right.
You want to go ahead and run commercials?
Yeah, let me get something real quick. Hold on.
Well, let me do Game Topper.
Well, hold on.
Are you doing something for him?
Yes, I'll just chill.
Jeez. So basically,
What order are you doing them in?
It doesn't matter. Record them however we want, and I can edit it, and
Okay.
I can edit it. It's like nobody's even watching us right now. This is it. This is us in full glory right here. Right now, I'm actually going out to Portal Games. I want to see. I know they're just finishing up their Robinson Crusoe, so by the time this episode comes out, this won't matter anymore. So I'll see what else they're getting ready to promote. I know Ben is still on chat. Maybe he can tell us. I know Malik just released. Oh, Vienna Connection. That's what's coming up next. Yeah. I think that actually may be May. Yeah, that was the intro. That went longer than normal. I threw a lot of extra stuff into the intro, which we don't normally do. There was a bunch of little things I just want to talk about, though. So, yeah. So, luckily, Tony, we have Ben here that can tell us that Vienna Connection is on the way from Portal, so that's what we can do from
Awesome.
Portal.
All right, I'm ready. First one. Let's go. Game Topper.
Oh, he actually did change an outfit. He's wearing a Game Topper shirt. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. I don't know how to start this. What? Don't look. You did the last one. Hold on. Do you want to do this one? You can do it if you want to.
Well, we'll do like we always do. In 3, 2, 1. That Kickstarter for Game Toppers is around the corner, Marty.
Actually, right, it should be soon after this episode is released. Unless
It should be.
Yep.
If everything goes well for Kevin, he has been teasing some shots. He's been doing some animation work. If you go out to his Facebook page, you can see all that he is doing to prepare for this Kickstarter. That's right. If you are looking to enhance that old kitchen table where you take your meals by putting a game topper on it, this might be your chance in his next game topper. That's Game Toppers LLC. It's also going to be adding some legs. Go ahead, Marty. Do
You
the
got legs. All right, sorry. It's got legs because it's tables at it.
That's it. But you can also definitely get the protector on top of it. And then, as Marty pointed out in the last episode, and I have not done this yet, is protect those gorgeous mats. I think he's got some additional mats coming out. Haven't seen any pictures of those, but I think there are some additional mats that he will be putting out there for anybody who wants to lay it just across. And I mean, it's got this carrying case, Marty. I am looking forward to this. Just like where we go and at the local. Where do we eat? McAllister's? That's it. McAllister's.
McAllister's, yeah.
Where we go to game night. Hey, we can slap a mat down right there, protect it, and you have covered up all that stuff underneath. You're not going to get your pieces stuck.
That stuff.
Yeah, the dried ketchup, the barbecue sauce, that kind of stuff.
Putting my mat down on dried ketchup and barbecue sauce?
I don't want to put my game on it either.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
All right. And so be sure to go check it out. That's Game Toppers LLC for all that information.
I'll do Portal next.
Hold on. Wait.
Oh, jeez. Gosh. He actually has. Wow, you are just showing out for the live audience. This is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's go.
Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. A big congrats to Ignacy and the team over at Portal for over $2 million towards the Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. It couldn't happen to a better company. Well over 10,000 people have bought this game. Tony, it is immaculate. Immaculate. This is going to be like a family heirloom.
Yes, it is. And it's missing one thing, though, Marty.
Oh, what's that?
He needed to add in sand. A little bag of sand for when you have a
sunny
day at the beach. Sunny day at the beach. That would have been it. That would have been it right there. So yes, good. Congratulations, 2.5 million or something like that. That is unreal. And if you don't know or understand how to play Robinson, by our good friend Ben, he did this YouTube tutorial. So
it's over on Portal Games YouTube channel. So go check it out.
That's right. So that's portalgamesus.com. You can get all that wonderful information. Anything. I mean, what else is coming up?
And Vienna Connection is going to be coming out soon, so go keep an eye on it. And the Moloch expansion, Tony, we actually got it. So you and I need to get 51st State back to the table so the Moloch can come into play and start messing with everybody.
I'm waiting for my 51st State. Don't we have a big master collection coming on that too? Was it 51st State from last year? He's got all kinds of stuff. I can't keep track of the man.
Yeah, that'll be edited out.
Okay.
No, there was already a master set for 51st State.
What was the one that he did?
Robinson Crusoe?
No, we backed it last year. It was the big collector set.
Hiroshima Hex.
Hex. See, I can't remember all these things. I thought it was it's the same world.
So for those who are watching, see that stuff
never makes it. Gone.
Never happened.
Out of here.
No, hold on. Now I got to figure out how to end this. So to find out more, head over to portalgamesus.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Make sure to follow them on YouTube, where he does his weekly live chats on Monday, which I love those every Monday morning. I love interacting with him and hearing some of the topics that he likes to talk about. So again, to find out more, portalusgames.com. Oh, here we go. Shirt change. Jeez, gosh. Oh, God. Oh, gee. Oh, Lord. Okay. You want to kick out Miniature Market?
3, 2, 1. MiniatureMarket.com. If you haven't been out to their front page, their home page lately, you might have missed it. They got
Homepage? Do people still call it a homepage?
in my world they do. Thank you very
Let's go out
much.
to the information superhighway.
What's this www thing going on? I don't know what that is. This World Wide Web, but I do know what's going over at miniaturemarket.com. They got these new accessories. They just posted them. That's right. We talked highly about their bags that we were able to give out. Was that 2019, Marty, at our
Yes.
strike tournament where Gladiators in the Arena won again? Okay, yeah. Well, now they've got a shoulder bag that can house the game. Looks really nice. They got these velvet dice bags because, you know, us, it's all about the dice. Got to protect those dice, make them feel comfortable. If you don't, they roll bad for you. They need a good house. They need a good
My boys need a
protection.
home.
My boys need a home.
Do you
Those
get
dice
that
need a home.
reference? Do you get that reference?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Seinfeld.
Of course, I don't get that reference. This is about miniaturemarket.com. They also have new cases for your decks. Zipper cases, like, you know, what was that? You know what I'm talking about. So it's a zipper case.
You're digging your own grave on this one.
I'm not digging mine. You put decks of cards in it. It has little Velcros that you can sort your card decks.
Little Velcros.
Yeah, Velcros. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh, I do, but nobody else does. It's a zippered case, kind of like the Quiver is, and there's a longer case which has the Velcro dividers, so that you can put them in there to
Yeah,
separate.
they got
your
Velcro
decks.
things.
There's a longer case, there's a shorter case, and then there's a square case, and it's all about carrying your cards and everything, which is really important, Tony, because with Vampire the Masquerade coming out and Ashes coming out, that means that you're going to need some place to carry and store your cards. The Miniature Market has got you taken care of with their brand new products.
But you know what I'm going to use that case for? Because I don't have a lot of card games anymore.
What's that?
I'm going to put the stuff that I need to help a successful game night. My glasses, pencils, a knife so I can open up boxes, help cut stuff up because I got mad at a game or something like that. That's right. That's what I'm going to use those cases for. And didn't they also have the little ones where the corners fold up, the little dice trays?
Yes. Yep.
So be sure to check it out over at miniaturemarket.com.
Gosh. That was horrible.
Oh, it was perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
all right. So, do you want to do it in this order? After the Empire, Spartacus, and Ashes Summoner?
Sure. All right.
You want to kick off after?
I'm going to go pee. I'll kick after.
I'll entertain the audience while you go pee.
Okay.
Are you not entertained? See, Spartacus, it flowed right in there. We're professionals here. Professionals. Yeah, so that's how our commercial spots typically go, right there. They are totally off the cuff. Basically, we kind of know what we want to promote. So could you tell none of that is scripted? They pay for that. But no, what's interesting, what they like, Miniature Market, even Ignacy, is that everyone's custom. So, you know, some people would just like record a commercial and just use it, you know, over and over again. That's part of the things that we do is we make every single spot a totally custom spot so that hopefully people maybe will listen to it as opposed to it's like, oh, I've already heard this one, so I'll just fast forward. So by the way, I'm taking my bathroom break. Next one. So next game what we're going to be doing is a review of After the Empire from Gray Fox Games. And I think you're going to hear that both of us really liked it. So I'm excited to talk about this one. Spartacus, which is oldie but a goodie. Then we're going to do a segment where we're going to combine the re-release of Ashes and Summoner War. Again, if you're listening and you want to ask a question, please ask a question that we could possibly answer in the outro. So far, we got nothing except, are you retired? And the answer was no to that. So we are not retired. We look like we should be retired.
Old school, baby.
Oh, man. Throwback logo.
Hey, it was the only way I could remember our website. See, look, there's a www.rolldicetakenames.com.
Let's get on the World Wide Web.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got the designer name and everything?
like it matters. Like I'm gonna be able to say it.
Well, don't. Yeah, just get this close as you can. Don't
I
apologize.
am.
Don't apologize for it.
I know. I'm doing my best. Always try to do it right. All right. In three, two, one. Well, here we go, Marty. Another game that I am sure is going to be up for the Squirrelies. For me, anyway. I don't know about you.
Is this the game that you teased last episode that potentially could be your game of the year?
It could be. It could be. And that game is After the Empire from Gray Fox Games. This game is designed by Evan Halbert and Ryan, is that Mauk, M-A-U-K. Lead development was Joshua Lebakowsk. And let me just tell you, loved it. Good review. I think we could stop there.
Straight to the end. Yeah, so when I saw this game, and I thought, all right, so it's kind of like a tower defense. Well, it is really a tower defense game, but it's a Euro tower defense game, which I thought was interesting. And we typically like our worker placement games, which is what this at its core is a worker placement game. And at the core, you're trying to build your castle, fortify your castle from enemies that are trying to come into your castle and steal your gold.
They want your stuff. They're going to hurt your people.
That's
They're
right.
going to hurt you.
With the goal at the end of the game, the person who has the most gold at the end is going to win. And Tony, what I love about it is the simplicity of that. If you know how to play a worker placement game, the worker placement element is super straightforward. It's honestly just learning, okay, how do I deal with the enemies when they come out? How do they work? And how does the combat phase work? Once you got that down, game.
Oh, it was more than a good game for me. I didn't play it well the first time. Second time I played it better. Third time I'm going to kick some serious butt, I hope, because you're right. I mean, it was straightforward. I mean, your phases are simple. The first one is you got to do your actions, which is your worker placement, like you said, which is one thing I really enjoyed about this game was the fact that I didn't have to do actions in order to get additional workers. I could see them coming later in the game.
It was based on the rounds, right? There were certain, you play a fixed number of rounds, and at a certain point in the round, a specific rounds as you go along, you're going to get an additional worker. And I think you end up with 2 additional workers.
Right. And they come in later. So you're thematically, I could see where you're building up that castle. You're bringing more people into your environment. Oh Lord, castle. your fiefdom. How's that?
Thank you. That fiefdom. Well done. Very thematic.
And so you're bringing them in. So as you do that, now what can you do in those actions? Plainly, you can go get some resources. It's simple. You can bring in.
And here's the thing: your typical type resources: stone,
tin.
Yeah.
No food. Food is harvested later.
That's right. You do not. Yeah. Well,
No, you could prepare your fields. You can make them better or repair them. Yep. So you prepare your fields or repair them.
Yep. And some of them are pretty straight worker placement things of conversions. Pay this, you get this. Turn this in, you get this.
Go ahead. And one of the harder decisions is that you could have, do you want to bring in more soldiers to live with you, or do you want to hire some mercenaries? That to me was very strategic.
Because
they're going to fight. And at the end, well, what? It is because the mercenaries are going to go bye-bye at the end of the round. The soldiers are going to stay, and they're going to eat your stuff.
Yeah. So the mercs, fantastic for one round, but then they're gone. Soldiers stay around forever, but you do have to feed them. Now, they can be injured, but one of the actions that you can do is heal up injured soldiers.
Right. You can build additional buildings that can help your fiefdom, and those are very important.
And you could also hire refugees, I believe what it was called. So you can build buildings and hire people. Now, here's the thing that, Tony, this is engine building, right? Because if you combine a couple refugees, a couple buildings, Bert did this to us again, created this really nice engine that synergizes with each other. You did too. both you two had a nice engine made with your buildings and refugees, and I struggled at that. And later on in the game, man, you were just able to use some of the same cards over and over to generate resources, convert resources. Y'all did an amazing job. So that's the part I like. There is some engine building that's done by simple worker placement, placing a worker, pay whatever it costs to build the building or hire that refugee, take them into your area, and then they have special actions that can be done during your turn.
Right. Another very important one that you can do that's on your player board is you can upgrade your castle. You can convert it from wood to stone or repair your castle because combat's coming. There's people out there. They know you got gold. They know you got a good place and they want your stuff and they are coming. And so they are going to do damage. So that's another location that you can go to. We already mentioned about fixing the fields or upgrading the fields to produce the farming later in the game. And there was this one space that gave you the ability to draw 2 cards, pick one, and these are in-game victory point mechanics that will add to your gold if you have certain conditions. But those aren't that big of a deal. I liked how they did not swing the end game like, oh, if you got this, here's 10 gold. I like the fact that they were very minimal. But what was key to that place was getting the scout tokens.
You mean movement tokens? Or are they called scout tokens?
I think they're called scout tokens. I think I have a rule book here, but we'll just go with what I said.
That's cool. That's cool. I just remember that you spend those for basically being able to move people around.
Mm-hmm. So, and those things, if you don't have those, they're move tokens. I'm sorry. In my thematic little world for this game, it's my thematic. They had little what are those, telescopes?
Yeah.
Therefore, they could scout. So I'm sorry. I'm building my own theme. It was close enough for me. What can I say? That was the phase 1 action that you're going out and doing. Then comes the hardest part of this whole game: combat.
So
to get a grasp.
Yeah, we'll talk about that segment. I just want to talk about something that's really cool. If y'all never seen this game, go look at this game because you're literally building a castle with these really nice plastic pieces that represent wooden walls, wooden gates, wooden turrets. When you upgrade, you can build stone walls, stone turrets that basically are a little bit more better defensively. And so during that time, you start out with 4 sides made of wood, 4 walls made of wood, and that's it. But then we're going to find out pretty soon that your wall is going to take damage. Your wall may go away. So you may want to upgrade. You may want to throw up turrets, and we'll explain how that works in a second. But this game looks gorgeous. Gorgeous on the table because everybody has their nice little player board. They build up their castle, and it looks so nice.
It's not going to look nice for long, though. Nope. Not going to happen. Depending on which round you're in, will determine how many people are coming to take your stuff. And in round 1, this is another mechanic I really liked that I know, Marty, can create issues for you, is that one of these you've scouted out and you know how many people are coming. And who's going to attack your castle is based on how much gold you have in your reserve or what round you're in. So even if your gold is less than a mark that says, hey, 12 gold is where everybody's going to start, you're going to be attacked by either this many melee and this many archers.
So I believe
you
each
can see
card
that
has 3 levels, right? 3 gold levels. And the more gold you have, the more things that's going to be coming after you over time. And like you said, there's one that's face up, but with the face up card, it has arrows showing which direction they're going to come into your castle. First round, that's pretty easy, right? I know exactly, okay, this particular unit's going to be coming in from the east. So I need to make sure the east is fortified with people on the walls. I can use archers to take them out. But as rounds go on, you still have that first face up card. But then face down cards start coming out. And when it comes to combat phase, you flip up those face up cards and then you realize, oh boy, there's now 3 groups possibly coming from this side or coming from this side. So there's this tension during the worker placement phase of making sure that you have a little bit of coverage on every side of your walls because you can assign your soldiers to sit on the walls to protect them from whatever angle they're being attacked from.
And keep in mind, how's this thematic? How is this hidden stuff? Because you only have so many scouts. You've only sent them in one direction. You don't know where they're coming from. So you have some idea, oh, I can see them over there. So that's very important. So you're right. There's that element of surprise, the unknown, which I enjoyed. I don't know about you, but I enjoyed that part of the game.
I did, but that's where the movement tokens come in, and we'll come back to that in a second, how important those movement tokens are, which help you mitigate bad luck because you guessed incorrectly on possibly where things might be coming. Now, there's always a face-down siege card that comes up, Tony, and that siege card is either going to be a trebuchet that launches stuff to destroy your walls, or it's a ladder where the invaders coming in can still scale your walls and get into the castle.
Right. Was it a trebuchet, a catapult? No, a ladder and a catapult was that on the token. Doesn't matter.
Oh, it was
something that can.
Okay, it was a long range weapon like a catapult, a trebuchet, and a ladder.
There's I'm saving us $5, covering all bases here. Okay.
Fair.
But there is a part on that card that will say like a surge.
God, this got me. So some of the cards will say like, hey, whoever has the most gold gets a little bit of extra attack against them.
Very thematic. That guy's doing better, so we should go get his gold.
Right. So not all of them had that, but some of them did, and I'll talk about how it happened to me later. So, Tony, we go into the combat phase. So this is the part that probably takes the longest to wrap your head around, and there is a really nice PDF on Board Game Geek that walks you through each of the phases of the combat. So once you flip over all the cards that's going to be attacking you, you actually take tokens from the supply and put them around your castle. One for every melee attack, one for every archer, and situate them around them. And before that happened, though, you allocated your soldiers around the wall. So at this point, it's like, oh boy, now you see what you're really dealing with. But you don't get to deal with it yet because first archery is going to happen. So if there's any archers from the outside, what they're going to do is shoot any soldiers that are on the wall that they're facing. Likewise, any soldiers that you positioned on that wall will shoot back and they deal damage simultaneously. Each thing just has one health. Take out an archer, it goes away. You lose a soldier, it goes to your infirmary. You don't really lose it, you can still heal it, it just goes to your infirmary.
Right. And turrets, the turrets deal damage as well. So that helps you.
We talked about, so if you build a turret that's on a corner, so a corner turret can attack either adjacent field. It attacks both adjacent fields.
So that helps you. That's why you got to build them. It's going to help thin the herd because the herd's going to get greater, as we just said, as the longer rounds go. That's why you just can't turtle and think, oh, I'm just going to keep my walls. You better be planning for the big vicious attack that's coming along. So yeah, you did your combat preparations. You moved your troops according to based on how things showed up. You hurried people along. You had a little archery phase. Everybody was slinging some arrows at one another, taking people out. Then the movement, the invaders in the field move to the wall that's left. They're coming to the wall. They're going to try to destroy that wall.
Oh, I didn't talk about this earlier. You talked about the preparation phase. That's where you can spend your movement tokens. We talked about those earlier. Before this, you can actually spend movement tokens to resituate the people on the wall because now you see where they're coming from. But if you didn't get those, you got to keep it the way that it was before they were revealed, and they go away at the end of the turn, so you don't get to stockpile those suckers. Now, after the archery, you can readjust freely without the cost of any movement token. Because when the melee comes, each of your walls has a little block on them, like some wooden walls have 3 wooden blocks, and stone have like 4. And a melee attack deals 1 damage, which is taking a block off the top of the wall and putting it over in your supply. This is cool, Tony. You take damage, you don't lose the resources you use to build it. Basically, the stone goes back into your supply that you can fix it later. But if they do enough damage to that wall where all the stones are removed, the actual physical wall is removed. Then they storm inside.
They storm inside, and don't forget about the siege windows. We talked about ladders. Sometimes those guys can just come over the top.
Yep. So, and if you get through all those phases, and you're still alive, and they're still alive, you wrap around and start all over again at the archery phase. And you keep going until either you're dead and you're sacked, or they're all dead and you were successful.
Right. And that's the important aspect. That you don't just keep going back and forth and keep doing damage. It's okay, they've sacked me. Now I take a reduction in the goal based on what's on the board. From where I was, it will sack me to that end.
Yep. So basically, they stole some of your gold, but there is some compensation. Because that happened, you get 2 mercs for free and 1 additional worker for 1 round to help you rebuild.
I guess people felt sorry.
Yeah.
You mutual aid from a adjoining fiefdom. They say, come on, we're going to send you some people. We understand. We appreciate you taking the abuse versus us.
But if you survived and you have the most gold, you get some bonus points. Because, hey, everybody was coming after you. You survived. You get a little 1 or 2 point token surviving that.
So you finish the combat. So for this game, learning this game, simple worker placement at the beginning. Combat is where you need to step through it a couple of times, and it'll come to you, especially this attacking the wall, repelling, rinse and repeat. It took us multiple times to get through this, you know? So that's one of those things that we need to stress here on this game. Don't be like, oh my gosh, how hard. It's not. It's not. Just walk through it, straightforward. Very good rule book. Like Marty said, the PDF is out there. Then you go and you get income for how many walls and turrets you got. So if you lost any, you lose some income. You determine your turn order. You feed your people while you harvest. Oh, by the way, you know those people who came and just attacked your kingdom? They burned your crops.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's one of the first things that happens at any crop that's out there. Oh, I didn't mention this too. If you get sacked, one of your building is on fire or either one of your refugees damaged. You can still use their abilities, but there's a gold award at the end if your building has survived or your person has survived. There's a way to fix those and heal those on return.
It's an action.
But at least you don't use the ability. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that was good. Enjoyed that. Feed them. If you can't feed them, lose some gold. Rinse and repeat. Reset the board. Start up for another attack. Play until the rounds are over. Whoever has the most gold at the end wins. Reveal your victory point cards. Total up all your other victory points. There you go. That's the game.
That is the
game.
In
a nutshell.
And so, Lee, you want to talk about? Let me just talk about some of my pros of the game real quick. If I can find it. But worker placement, I said it, very straightforward. You get into the game quick. You play a worker placement game before, you can literally look at the board and determine what each of these things do. Maybe you have to understand what does a move token give you, what can it do. Combat is deterministic. No dice rolls. So it's not like you're going to get messed up by a dice roll. You know exactly how much damage you're going to be dealt and how much you're going to deal in return. So you can see the outcome. The randomness is where those face down cards get turned up and you see what direction they're going to be coming from. So that's where your randomness is. One issue that many Euros have, to me, is that the theme disappears during gameplay. Not so with this game. You get gold, you protect your gold. If you have the most gold at the end, you win. Thematically, I felt the entire time I was constantly rebuilding, fixing my castle, fortifying my castle, getting soldiers into place to protect from the hordes that were coming in.
I've mentioned mine. I really enjoyed knowing when I would get my additional workers, and it wasn't something I had to work for, which I always sometimes, I generally feel is a disadvantage to people in worker placement games for those who get the workers near the end or don't plan accordingly. I like that. We're all getting them at the same time. We don't have to worry about that. One aspect. I enjoyed the fact that you have to know what's come. I mean, options abound on how to strategize. When those cards are displayed, when you're trying to figure out the refugees or what buildings, you may not get the card that will work well. So you need to pivot on that. You need to figure out what you're going to
pivot. That's
right. Hey, do you want to go with, well, I'm going to build up a good army and keep them fed and things like that. Oh, dadgummit, I can't feed them all the time. I'll just go with the mercs. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting a lot of different types of cards. I know there's some victory point cards that allow me to have different sets. That's interesting. I could do that. Maybe I'll just keep my wood structures healed up and not even worry about stone because I have another good engine going over here. A lot of strategizing you got to do as the game progresses. And one of my favorite things was keeping in step with one another with the goal. I never felt like, someone is so far out. If they were way ahead of us in gold and those leader cards came up on the siege engine, they were going to be the target. And I like that little catch-up mechanic.
That's where I got screwed. That's what really ruined the last time that I played because I was behind in gold the entire time till one round. By the way, some of the actions that you take cost gold. So you can spend gold, take actions. Sometimes you don't want to be the runaway leader because of the fear of getting attacked. And being the furthest ahead, remember what I said? Those army cards, the strength of the army coming at you is based on the amount of gold that you have. So you don't want to get crazy. I ended up in front of these two guys, and the next siege card targeted me, and it absolutely destroyed me. Those guys survived, and then I spent what felt like 2 turns trying to get my castle rebuilt, and it was just they pummeled me. So I understand that's part of the game, but it did frustrate me, and Angry Marty did show up when that happened.
Oh yeah, he didn't. Grumpy Tony comes in and gets quiet. Marty gets vocal.
And it's just I didn't realize I was ahead of everybody in gold. And it's like, how did I get ahead of you guys? Siege, person with the most gold gets additional attackers from over here. It's like, oh my gosh.
And you were only one ahead, just 1 gold.
And again, they try to compensate. Well, number one, you lose a lot of gold, so then I drop back. They try to compensate. The person furthest back in the gold track does get to go first. You do get the extra money. You do get the extra worker. Thank goodness, or otherwise it would be a runaway leader. So there's one thing you got to work on. I stunk at my card combos. That's not a con against the game. That's a con against my card play. But Tony, I love the game. It's rare that a Euro, to me, the theme hits and sticks the entire way through, and I think this one does that.
Kind of like done spaghetti on a refrigerator.
Yep. And here's the thing. I know that people are like, man, I wish I could have gotten this game. Well, guess what? Gray Fox Games is coming out with the deluxe version reprint on GameFound. They already had the preview up on GameFound.com. So if you want to get a reprint of the deluxe version, it will be available soon. They will offer an upgrade kit if you have the regular game, which we have for like $24. I'm going to pay the $24 to get the upgrades for the nicer bits and tokens because it's one of those things on the table just looks great. And the more blinged out it is, the more fun it is.
Yeah, it took us a while to play, so it's not one of our fast games to the table. Yeah. 4 players. I don't think because a lot of things were going on simultaneous, like when we were assaulting the castles, everybody could do that at once. As long as you trust people, it's okay. And I'll admit it. Marty had to look at her. How did you survive that? Let me step right through it and make sure I did it right.
Now, I was just like, I couldn't believe the swarm that hit us, and both Bert and Tony were like, I survived. Cool. All right, next round. I was like, what?
It was just, I'm telling you, that was one of my big cons, though, I think, was the move tokens, my scout tokens, because it's the scout action you take on the board to receive them, but there are some buildings that provide those. I felt that those are very valuable. And I don't know if we stress that enough, but it's very valuable that you're able to reposition those troops on the walls as soon as those cards flip over, that you're able to say, I'm going to spend 3 move tokens to move through 3 troops to help me defend this wall, especially if 4 cards flip over and, oh, look, they're all coming from one side.
But there's a risk in that. There are a couple times I went and made sure to get those movement tokens and that I didn't need them because I got lucky and was positioned correctly, and then they go away. So I used a worker. I basically wasted a worker getting movement tokens that I didn't even.
Right. And there's these guard tokens you can put on your fields, so you don't really have to worry about those, or you can just let your fields burn, but those are victory points, so that helps you too. So yes, this one will show up in the Squirrelies of 2022 for Tony's game of the year. I can go ahead and say that. And we'll see who else is going to be challenging it. But man, I'm going to tell you, after the Empire, Gray Fox Games, the deluxe version, she's not a cheap one, but go check it out. It's got a big old thumbs up from Tony.
Me too. And Spartacus. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Excuse me. Wow, that was the Pepsi. Right?
Pepsi makes me burp too.
Sorry about That's right. We're live. It's great. Sorry about that, y'all.
Hey, I know this is political. At least you didn't do a Giuliani. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Gale Force 9 has just reprinted one of their most popular games from 2012. A hit for them was Spartacus.
If
Spartacus,
you put it in the
a
show
game.
notes,
Is it in the show notes?
no, but if you had just typed it out, but no. I mean, one of the few times we do show notes, and yet we don't do show notes. You got to love us for this. Oh, Lordy.
All right, here we go. Spartacus, a game of blood and treachery. We got this game to the table, and I heard so many good things about it, Tony. One of our friends, Nate, said, "Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite games of all time." So we could not wait to try it out. And you know what? Got to give him credit. This is a very thematic game too for what it is, because each of you are playing a dominus. You're playing one of the houses of Rome. Everybody has a special ability that they can use, and your goal is to get some gladiators into play, equip them with weapons, have slaves in play that can give you special abilities that maybe can heal up, can give you some gold, and you're gonna go out there and do battle for the whole goal being the first to get 12 influence, and the first to 12 wins the game.
Yep, that's it. Another good review. Way to go.
Gosh. Yeah, the way you're sitting there looking at me like this, were you not impressed with this game or something?
So I guess, this is one of those things where you've got that hype. It's way up there. We're hearing from Nate.
Oh, yeah, our friends
Nate
hyped
Mark.
it big time. It used to be
Big
played at
time.
the game club all the time that we went to.
Mm-hmm. And it is. It's a solid, good game. So glad Gale Force 9 brought it back, did some tweaks to it. I'm glad I got to play it. But as I was playing it, I was sitting there thinking, okay, the arena, the gladiators in the arena aren't as important as that one step at the beginning. The intrigue?
So, okay, well, yes, it is. Now, when you first start, everybody does income. So you're going to get gold for every slave that you have. By the way, everybody starts with a different number of slaves, different of gladiators are starting.
And that's what they're called.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're called. And then for every gladiator you have, it costs you 1 gold. So you get some income at the beginning, and it costs you something. But then you go into the intrigue. So cards are dealt out. These intrigue cards. And Tony, you said this is basically where you felt the entire game occurred, right?
Mm-hmm. That's just me, because after this, it's nothing more than betting on who's going buying stuff and sending 2 people to the arena.
No, that's not the intrigue phase.
I know, but I'm saying after the intrigue phase,
I'm sorry.
You bought stuff and then you sent people to the arena, back to the top.
Yes, and it's funny in the rules they say spirit of the game. During the game, players will bribe, poison, betray, steal, blackmail, and undermine each other. Coin will change hands again and again to buy support, stay someone's hand, or influence their decisions. Be the honorable player whose word is their bond, or the treacherous schemer whose alliance change with the wind. So here's the thing: in the first couple rounds, Tony, we didn't do a lot of that.
It's not our style.
It's not. We were pretty straightforward. Now, as the game went on, we started doing that a little more. Hey, Tony, I've got this influence card right here. It's going to cost you 5 gold if I play it. Why don't you give me 3 gold instead, and I won't hit you with this 5, and maybe I'll hit Bert with it. And then the negotiation begins, right? So then it's like, well, Marty, I got one of those cards too, so maybe you just want to lay off. When we got into the spirit of the game like that, that was really interesting. And so you had these intrigue cards that would do all these sort of different things. And there was also reaction cards to where Tony, I may do something to you and you go, I'm going to foil that and basically cancel that intrigue. Or maybe it's a guard card, which basically is going to say, I'm going to use my guard to try to foil your scheme, and I'm going to roll a die. 4, 5, or 6 as I successfully foil it. A 1, 2, or 3 fails, but you lose the guard regardless.
Right. And these intrigue cards are about getting more money to help you in the market,
Yes.
or advance your influence or decrease someone else's influence.
Yes.
And one of the keys is you cannot play these intrigue cards unless your influence is equal to or greater than the value printed on the card, unless you pay money to do that.
No, that
Or
is pay
that
money.
was one of my
Yeah, you don't pay money. What you do is you can ask for assistance.
asked for. Yeah, I had a card that said you can decrease the cost. I forgot about that.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, you did have something special like that. So let's say the influence card is like you have to be a level 16. Well, that doesn't even exist. And I'm an 8 and Tony's an 8. And I go, Tony, if you lend me your influence. Lend means that he doesn't decrease it. It's just like he'll help me out. I can play this 16 level influence card maybe against somebody else. So maybe Bert is 1 point away from winning. He's at 11. And you and I conspire together in order to hurt him, to bring him back to us so we have a chance of winning. So this intrigue phase, I think, is very, very interesting at this point. So you play your cards, you have a max hand of cards based on your influence. The more influence you have, the bigger your hand of cards can be. So you can carry some of those forward to the next round. So that is, if you're into that sort of thing where you can backstab and bribe and do that, then this is the phase of the game that you'll really enjoy.
Yes. And that's where I thought the whole game was, because that's how we determine the winners and the losers.
Well, but the market, the next phase is kind of important too, because then you're doing blind bids. So 3 cards come off the market and you reveal them one at a time. These can be equipment or items that you can attach to your gladiator, such as shield, weapon. Could be a new gladiator, bring into your control. It could be a new slave, which maybe an ability to heal people and stuff, and it gives you gold at the beginning of the round. So then you blind bid. You take all your coins into your hand. You blind bid. You hold out your fist. You reveal. Whoever has the most gets that card. If it's a tie, then you do a blind bid again until somebody gets it, or both of you basically pass, and then nobody gets that card. So 3 cards go through that. But Tony, I think the most important thing was the final bid, which was for host. Because whoever got to be the host got to determine what 2 gladiators go into the arena the next phase.
Absolutely. Because that host says, hey, Marty, go fight.
And if I don't, it costs me an influence not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
it behooves me to go and do it. But if I'm host, I could maybe sometimes I want to pick myself. Maybe I see that I've got a really stout gladiator with a bunch of items, and you've got like nothing. It's like, I'm going to pick me and I'm going to pick Tony to go fight against you.
But that's important, because you may say, hey, Marty, go fight. And you say, okay, I'll do that. And I'm going to send in so-and-so. And you look down, I can't beat that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go pick on Mark or Bert or Ben or Chevy or somebody is go fight in their arena themselves so that I don't have to, and just sit back and watch it all. And then everybody places wages on how, if they think who's going to win, if they think they're going to be decapitated, or if they're going to be injured. And
right. And and basically we'll talk about the combat, which I think is kind of interesting. The combat resolution, I did think the combat resolution was pretty interesting, because every gladiator has 3 stats: speed, defense, and attack. Mm-hmm. And the number that they have for those 3 values is the number of dice they'll roll. So there's blue dice for speed, black dice for defense, red dice for attack. So if I'm 3, 3, and 2, I pick out 3 red, 3 black, 2 blue. And then both of us roll our dice. There's only 2 people in the arena. They start on opposite ends. You can move, and you can basically fight and move. But before you do that, you roll your dice. And
you take some gladiator name.
That's true. And by the way, this is really a gladiators in arena. Just to say, This is really gladiators in
You're
this.
rolling dice.
What?
And never mind. Keep going. I'll let you keep going.
More so than strike. Okay, so the
4-time champ.
yeah, whatever. All right, so the number of blue dice you have is the number of spaces that you can move, but you each add up your blue dice. Whoever has the highest gets to go first, or gets to choose who gets to. So at that point, then one of you will go first. But then when you do an attack, let's say I'm attacking you, I take my red dice and put them in descending order. You take your black dice and put them in descending order beside each of my dice, and you compare them 1 to 1. So my highest to your highest, your second highest to your second highest, etc. If my attack exceeds your defense, you take a wound. If they tie or it's less than, no wound. If you don't have a defense die to put against my attack, it's automatic hit. So I think this is the interesting part. The wounds that you take basically makes you discard 1 die from your pool of any color for the number of wounds that you've gotten. That's really interesting at that point. It's like, well, do I want to slow down and get rid of a blue and lower my speed? Do I want to take a chance and decrease my defense? Do I want to decrease my offense? But the rule is you can never go below 1. So you can discard down to 1. So at some point in time, a loser is going to have just 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red. The next time they take a damage, that's it. Combat's over. They lose a die. If they end up taking 2 damage and losing 2 die, they're injured. And they have a little injury token on them. If they lose all 3 die, they're decapitated and out of the game.
So, and whoever has the most die at the end wins, right? For the gladiators, right? If you have the most die at the end of the battle,
I
you
mean,
win.
it's basically if you injure them or knock them out, that's it. The other person wins. That's it. It just stops right there.
But if you have the most, then you decapitate them, so you are strike. Okay.
Well, you still got to compare. You got to count number of wounds. They still may roll against you, but you may not do enough wounds to decapitate them.
Right. And you can't throw off on that.
Yeah, all you got to do is knock out one of their 3, and that just stops the combat right then and there.
And so the 2 people battling, I can see where that's interesting. The other 2 people.
If you're playing 4-player, then you're watching the other 2 basically dance around each other till somebody jumps in and strikes.
I'm sorry, what word was that? Strikes. Yeah, strike. Yes, you're absolutely right. So that's where it was kind of like, okay, and then the betting on that, I'm taking a chance on, do I think he's going to decapitate? Well, he's coming in with 5 attack dice. I expect him to decapitate. It's pretty, but it's not until those people get those players out there. And so I guess that's where it lost interest for me, because a lot of times I was sitting on the edge. At the beginning, yeah, I was up there, constantly having to battle, and then suddenly I was kicked out of the arena.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah, and
but that's strategic.
Yeah, and I guess in a 4-player game, maybe you're rooting for somebody to win. I don't know. We did do a lot of like positioning, because it's like a little miniatures game at this point. And by the way, some weapons allow you to attack 2 spaces away. Like there's I can't remember which one it was. Some of them you don't have to be adjacent. You could be like 2 spaces away. Maybe you have a shield that you can use to block one of the damages, etc. So again, there's these items that you can attach to your gladiator when they go in. And by the way, if your gladiator is decapitated or out, you get to get your items back to attach to another gladiator. But then after that, Tony, there's another important thing for the host to decide, which is
the game over?
For the one that lost, they get either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So if they weren't decapitated, the host can basically say, thumbs down, they're gone. Here's where some wagers could come in, right? It's like, man, don't knock me out. Please don't knock me out. I'll give you a couple coins. Give me a thumbs up. Again, the negotiating thing comes in. But the host has so much power, which is where going back to that bidding phase, where if you bid a lot on those asset cards, you won't have hardly any left to bid on the host, which is important deciding who goes into the arena and who gets the thumbs up, thumbs down. Like you said, after that point, you just rinse and repeat. First person that gets to 12 wins. If happens, two people end up with 12 influence. They do one final battle against each other. Whoever's last standing is the final victor.
And I guess from a strategy standpoint, on the thumbs up, thumbs down, even in the picking your gladiator, that as gladiators win, they gain favor and eventually can become a champion, and that can provide even more money for that person. So there's strategy there. So I'm not trying to be negative on this from that standpoint. It's just like I was sitting there thinking. I mean, the intrigue is what held my attention.
Mm.
Okay. And the arena, I guess maybe with three. I mean, you said I could root for somebody. It didn't matter. I tried to convince you of how to do one so that you and I could get a bid, and then you rolled what, 3 6s or something. I don't know what you did, and ruined our chances of getting a whole lot of money. But that's all right. But so that's where I was with the game. I was like, okay, I can understand. I can understand the mass appeal, especially for people who enjoy that type of game, the backstabbing. Play it in spirit. Don't get mad at one another. But I can only imagine being at the very beginning. We played the short game where we started at 6 influence or 7
Yeah,
influence.
there's 3 versions of the game: the quick, the normal, and the long. And we played the.
You played the quick, and I was saying, well, if you're at 1, I don't know why this came to me. I'm like, is this like Cosmic Encounter? Where you get towards the end and you're just
Tony,
like,
that is a perfect example because I'm going to wrap around back to that. So let me give my pros real.
okay,
If you like heavy player interaction, you're going to love this game, right?
oh yeah,
If you love backstabbing and talking and bartering, this is the game for you. It's just full of that stuff. It's very easy to learn. Each phase is
hmm
really simple. Income, play cards, buy cards. The combat resolution, once you get that down, it moves pretty quick. I like the way that it's handled. I like the way the damage is removing dice. The thumbs up, thumbs down is a good tension moment if you're not the one making that decision. And it's one of those games that I think people love it because it creates memorable experience. Like remember when we
yeah,
played Spartacus and you screwed me over? Remember that? Remember that?
yeah.
Those sorts of games. I think it has that. So you got any pros from your side?
I, I think pretty much mimic what you just said. I agree. The intrigue, sitting there trying to negotiate, I can see where that would slow you down. So my pro is intrigue is where the game is. Negative con of the game is intrigue can take forever and it can draw out the game at some times. Some incredible dice rolls make it fun. It becomes that what's the term, Ameritrash type
Yeah.
system from that standpoint. That can be fun. I can definitely see where this game, where the arena for 2 people would be a blast, but the intrigue would be boring. You know?
Yeah, and that's true because it's a kind of a combination of 2 types of games. So a
Mhm.
con for me was it ran a tad long. What it was, we played the quick game and it took us still 2 hours with 3 players. And here's where I had the thing. I have issue with games in the past where you're racing to the end, but somebody can pull you back towards them. And I had the example of like a Catan, where you're close to winning the final victory point. Somebody takes longest road from you. Better example is Cosmic Encounter by far. You think you're just on the cusp of winning, or somebody's on the cusp of winning. It's like, oh, the game is going to be over, and somebody comes in and knocks them down, and they fall back. That's what happens in this game. Somebody runs ahead, other two, 3 player game. The other two are going to team up against them, play intrigue cards to pull them back down, and it kind of can make the game run long. I wish the game had a built-in timer
Mhm.
where that can't just keep going on and on because after a while it's like, okay, just kind of somebody hurry up and get to 12 because you of all people, you actually had a plan. You had an intrigue card that you would have won, and
Mhm.
Bert had a guard reaction card. If you had rolled a 1, 2, or 3, the
Boom.
scheme would have triggered. You would have won the game. Game over. But it didn't. So we went to the next phase. It was a fight phase between me and him. Then one of us ended up.
Yeah, and it came for me, and that's fine. That's what made the game memorable for me.
But
Is
you know
I
you.
had it.
But at that point, you're out of the game. That last
Oh yeah,
combat phase, you didn't give a crap because basically the winner of this was going to win the game. So you just kind of said, "This is where you would have pulled out your switch," because it's like I'd have nothing else to do with it.
no, I was putting stuff in the bags for packing up, like ready to go.
Yep. Yep.
'Cause-
So again, I can totally get where people, especially like Cosmic Encounter, man, fantastic example. A lot of player interaction. Do you want to help me out? No, I'll help you out next time. If you help me out this time, let's trade coins and all this stuff. You love that, then you're going to love this game. If that kind of makes me a little anxious, apprehensive, then you might want to check it out or play it before you. So that is Spartacus for Gale Force 9 out right. Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Tony, Plaid Hat Games is on their own again. And they're going back to their roots because they're coming out with a re-release of the Summoner Wars Master Set that you and I demoed almost 10 years ago in Origins when we first met Colby. He taught us how to play that game.
I remember that. They were wearing these weird hats.
They still wear the weird hats.
They wear the plaid hats. I see. I get it now. Back then, I was clueless, but now I'm right there with them.
You're not wearing a plaid hat. Yeah, thematically, you should have been changing shirts and stuff during this show.
Oh, well, hold on.
Got a plaid shirt you can put on? Not a plaid hat.
I put it on earlier. Remember when I said, costumes were provided by Rodney, and I had the plaid shirt.
Yep.
So there you go. So that's the push. Summoner Wars. This came out, and we also had another game that came out similar to this, and we were trying to say, well, which one of these is greater? Which one had more interest? And we were tied up in some other card games. Lord knows, probably getting ready for Netrunner or something. Who knows what we were doing? That was a while ago. And Summoner Wars back on the table, redone.
Yep.
Risen from the ashes.
Good tie-in.
Thank you.
So this game comes with 6 factions, a very nice board, and they've tweaked some of the rules. And for those who've played the original, comparing to this one, I was just going to hit some of the main things. One is the first player takes a full turn and starts with 2 magic. So the way the game begins is different. The second player starts with 3 magic, and there's a nice little magic tracker now on the board. That's how magic is tracked as opposed to a tile of cards. I like that a lot better, a lot easier to track. Players no longer gain magic when destroying their own units, but they do still gain magic if destroying somebody else's. I like this one, Tony. If a player fails to attack an enemy card during the attack phase, their summoner receives 1 damage. So it makes you want to fight. You better fight that round or your summoner is going to take a damage. And the goal of the game is to basically knock out the summoner. Basically deal enough damage to the other summoner and knock them out. And then over the dice are different. So they're imposed to numbers. There's like little icons on the dice. So there's swords and bows and special symbols. And depending on what attack you're doing, melee or range, you're going to roll a set number of die. Count the number of bows for range attacks or swords for melee, and that'll count the number of hits. Event cards no longer have their own phase. Instead, on the card itself, it tells you when it can be done. You can have active events. There are structures now. Instead of spawning at walls, you basically have gates that you spawn from. And plus, there's other structure cards that you play. So those are the main things. But it still maintains the thing of, on your turn, you're going to summon some of your people onto the board around your gate. You're going to move them a couple spaces. There's a new phase where you can build structures. Then you're going to attack. Melee can attack adjacent. Range can attack in a straight line if there's nobody blocking them. You roll some dice, determine some damage. The magic phase at the end, you can discard any number of cards you want and draw back up to 5. The number of cards you discard is going to give you that amount of magic to help you increase your magic, because during the summon phase, you spend magic to spawn characters on the board. So Tony, like a lot of games like this, the brunt of the game is the text on the factions, because that's what makes all the factions in you.
Right. It's the combos. Getting out certain ones that provide certain combos that you need, such as, oh, by the way, if this one's out there, he can boost this character. If they're within X number of spaces from the summoner, you get to do this. Oh, wait, here's a little bit of movement boost for you that they can now run through a unit and cause them damage. Oh, by the way, if the summoner, you move your summoner across the board, you can spawn a gate near them, assuming you have it in your hand and you're able to do that. And then you can release some of your guys from those gates. If you don't have magic, then you have a very hard decision to make of discarding cards to increase your magic so that you can be ready for the next phase, provided that your opponent doesn't come over and just wipe the floor with you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very tactical game.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I've always viewed this game as a miniatures game with cards. Cards are your units that you're putting onto the board. Try to get them into the right position. Again, every faction is so different. Some are about ranged attacks. Some have some special abilities where maybe I played the undead last time we played, Tony, and they're about, I'm going to deal damage to myself to be able to do things back to you. Typical undead sort of thing. So they all have different abilities, factions. There's the deck building is very unique. The factions come pre-built, so you can just play right out of the box. But there are rules for changing up your decks, and I think that's where somebody really gets into it. They can customize their deck, make armies, and more armies are going to be coming out down the road. So it is still a solid two-player game. It gives you that miniatures feel without having to assemble miniatures and doing painting.
Absolutely. It's got the deck building, like you said, and that will bring me in from that standpoint of a card game. So I appreciate them bringing this back and the streamlining of the rules. I mean, you taught it to me in under 5 minutes over lunch. You remind me of the rules, and we were off and playing in no time. And as with any of these games, you got to know your faction you can. Oh, card draw is going to hurt me. Well, maybe I need to, discard so that I can get the cards I need for the next round. But once again, you have to figure out where that's going to be best benefit to you. So yes, it's not chess by any means. Push maybe checkers with the strategy.
I mean,
a little bit in between, yeah.
I don't know. I'm moving pieces around on the board and trying to take out your people. It's very checkery, chessy.
Okay.
Each unit can move maybe different.
And maybe it is chess, yeah, because having certain ones on certain positions,
Except I
being
can
able to do
spawn
that.
pieces onto the board. That's different.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing I don't know, and I may have zoned out on this, but did you mention that the range is set? I like that. Unless you got something that adds to the range, I like the ability of it's this. You don't have to all these different ranges for range
yeah,
war.
and it has to be a straight line. It can't bend corners. Can't go shoot diagonally. It must be orthogonally to you, and there must be nobody between person.
Yeah, you don't want to send an arrow whizzing by their head.
Right. And when you
And
deal
miss.
damage, every unit has a certain amount of health pool, and basically, it's when they take enough damage, they're gone. It'll tell you how many dice they're going to roll. And again, some of the factions have, hey, if you roll the special icon, something happens. Again, there's abilities that be activated. So obviously, we're not going to dig into all that, but the basic rules, very easy to learn. Board is really nice. The art's been updated. I've seen some people say they like maybe the art of the earlier ones. Some people like the art on the new one. Art is subjective. Again, it's there. It's a bunch of new factions coming out. There's a new app coming that's going to be first online, and they're going to try to bring it to other platforms because a lot of people played the original game on an app, and so they are working on that. So if you'd rather do that, you can get a digital subscription. You can get a digital subscription, basically to stay up to date on the app and get new factions. There's a physical subscription where every time a new faction comes out, they'll just be one sent right to you.
So if they put it on the Switch, as long as I'm able to play my turn and go offline, I'm there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's coming to the Switch. That'd be cool, but I don't know if they've announced all the platforms.
Yeah, as long as they make it easy for me to pick up and move the cards. With the mouse, I'd be pretty simple. I mean, it's not as painful as click. Slowly drag this card
But
here.
the app's not coming out until like August, but the physical version is in May. Pre-order it now and get it and start playing it. We play in what? Less than 30 minutes, right? There is literally
Yeah.
no setup to this game whatsoever. In fact, the summoner, you turn it over on the back and it tells you, here are your starting units. Here's where the gate goes. Shuffle your cards, draw play.
Okay. I can do that. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
That's straightforward.
Now, the next game, which I've already mentioned, Ashes.
Mm-hmm.
One of Marty's favorites. Talk to us. Tell us
Ashes,
all about this.
Ashes Reborn. Again, the new great name, Reborn, is basically 1.5. So they took the original Ashes rules. We talked about this in the past. As Ashes game went on, some of the cards and abilities got crazy to where there was a lot of loopholes and a lot of cards that were very specific and timing was weird. So they got a designer to come in. This original was designed by Isaac Vega. He's moved on from Plaid Hat Games, but one of the people that helped and worked with Isaac is now taking over the designer role of Ashes and has come out with this new version. And we got the new base set, which includes the original 6 factions from the original set, but with a lot of new cards. So a lot of the abilities have changed, a lot of terms have changed. Again, Plaid Hat does an amazing job of kind of breaking down some of the things that's changed. For example, the term respark, which was a thing where you could take a card back into your hand, that is gone. Dismount rules are gone where you could get on a mount, that is gone. The dice power, some of the dice powers have totally changed. The attacking has been made better, I think. You could take multiple units and attack a Phoenix Born, but you can only attack 1-to-1 against another unit. That unit has the choice to counter, and if they do, they exhaust. That didn't change, but what changed is this. If a guard can come in, a unit with a guard term can come in and block instead, they have no choice whether to counter or not. They must and exhaust. That's different because there were some times where I had beefy guards and the other person would never attack, knowing that I could just guard and not counter, be unexhausted. That made the game drag. This keeps the game clicking. A lot of the rules they've put in forces the game now to move. A Phoenix Born can guard against attacks, but only once per turn. That is different. There are some timing rules have really changed. They've streamlined all that. Before damage, after damage, everything is consistent across every card now. I played a game today with 2 of the starter decks. A timing question came up. We read it. We read the rules. We followed exactly what needs to be done. So all the art is the same, but a lot of the text has changed on this base set. And there's the refresh set that you can get from Team Covenant if you have a lot of the older cards that replenishes and changes a lot of the cards in the decks, not only in the base set, but in a lot of the decks that came out later.
This is your game, man.
Did you just not like it?
And we're going, and might as well talk about it now. I was going to say talk about it later, but so between the two, it's all about smashing down the other person's big, their champion, their big boy.
What do you mean between the two?
Like the Summoner Wars and Phoenix Born.
The end game goal is basically to either destroy the Summoner or destroy the Phoenix Born.
Yeah, and I think Netrunner ruined me from the standpoint of I had multiple options here of how to win the game. I wasn't trying to beat you down. I was trying to figure out ways to beat your defenses and to keep you from doing certain things. With Ashes, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I think I lost interest because of what you were saying about it was a very complicated timing loopholes. We ran into that a couple of times. It had one of my favorite mechanics in it, the denial. Playing the denial decks, or you played that one against me when we put it on the table recently. I always enjoyed that.
A lot of that's gone. So one of the things that they got rid of is the ability just to basically get rid of that one unit you have in play. That was one of the things they said that turned people off on the game. They hated to have a unit in play, and the other person goes, oh yeah, just go ahead and discard that unit right there. They got rid of a lot of cards that did that. They got rid of cards that forced you to exhaust your dice and not be able to use them. That was a dice power. That is gone because people were playing us like Great. So this person can play this card or spend this die power over here to basically exhaust my die so that I can't use them.
Mhm.
That die has been changed. What it does, it rolls down a die one level. Remember, there were three levels: the high level, the
Mhm.
mid, and low. What it does is it rolls down dice one level. Dice doesn't go away, it rolls it down one. So what they did is they got rid of a lot of the annoying things that people didn't like about the game. Gone. Fixed a lot of the timing. Gone. Makes the game more fluid so you can't turtle. Fixed.
Yeah.
So all that so far I've really enjoyed. Again, I've only played the 6 starters. I haven't dug into any of the expansions, but I've enjoyed what they've done with the starters so far, except for one thing. And I just now remember this because now I've played 3 games with my coworker with the starter set. I suck this game. I am
And
horrible at this game. I like every mechanic about this game. The starting 5, you get 5 cards at the beginning of your turn, nice dice mechanic with the resources. I can't play this game worth the crap. And now I remember going to tournaments like in Origins and just getting the snot beat out of me. I'm bad
you were
at it.
not you were not last. I was last at that tournament. I remember this. And that's because the guy got beat and then walked out. So that made, and when I was playing, he says, I'm done with this. And he just left. But anyway, when I say denial, it's like, okay, you discard off the top of your deck. You're denying people
Oh,
cards.
like a milling deck, like in
A million.
Magic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
Saria has one of those, which is like a control deck, and I tried playing that, and it's still a tough deck to play. Maybe I just didn't play it well, but I like that sort of thing too because another way you can, well, you're still dealing damage. If you run through their deck, every time they have to go to the beginning of the phase to draw back up, they take 1 damage for every card they can't draw.
Mhm. Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
not that you make them run out of their deck, it's when they draw cards, they take damage for cards they can't. So that's Saria, one of the Phoenix Born's main thing, which I loved. I just never could get it to work. So anyway,
Well, it was working well against me. I can tell you that. And you say you can't play it. I'm sitting there watching you play against me, and you've got all these dice in your resource pool, and I spit all mine. And I'm like, how do you still have 5 dice over there, and I got none? And you're like, well, are you going to do anything? I'm like, I got nothing to do. I'm going to sit here and watch you play cards and tell me to go pound sand or something while I'm sitting over here.
again, it's just funny. I'm playing the standard deck against a coworker, and the guy just rolls over me, and I'm like, golly. I was playing today. He was playing with the Maoni, which is like the Egyptian woman who has
Mm-hmm.
the silver snake, where you can get status tokens on him and just beat the snot out of you. So I was playing with Noah, who can exhaust his guy. So I would exhaust it, then he would have a card to unexhaust it, use the Phoenix Born special ability to kill off the ally that I had, leaving the Phoenix Born unprotected. Attack for 7. Attack for 7. A good game.
Wow.
It was, and again, it was me. I just didn't play well. I love the game, but not a good player. It's so funny.
And
Uh,
I guess maybe that's when I look at those cards and was how easy is it to put a deck together? Once again, Netrunner ruined me. I could put a really good deck together. I wouldn't have to net deck, going to the net and reading everybody's decks, but I could see how the cards would work together. And this is me. It's definitely not Ashes because Isaac designed an incredible game. Okay, plain and simple. It's us. Plain. I mean, that's where it ends with us. I own this, but it was just like I could not see the combos. I could not see how things would fit together to build a good deck. I'd get cards that seemed like they had 10 paragraphs on them, and I was like,
yeah. No, I agree. And some of the later expansions dealt with teeny tiny font text on a card with multiple paragraphs. I remember the Finch was one of, oh my gosh, so much card. A lot of that's been changed. Some cards still have a wall of text, but a lot of that's been changed and made it easier. But I agree, but I will give them credit. For deck building, it's really straightforward. You could put anything you want into a deck. You just can't have more than 3 copies of it. As long as you put a die into your pool that can pay for that card, the deck building is wide open. And maybe you needed something a little more constrained.
Mhm.
Because
I agree.
in Netrunner, it's like you can splash. I mean, it was like 7 points. there was like 7 influence points. You know, everything had to be of a certain faction, but you could splash a certain number of points from other things. You were limited. Here it's like, whole card pool is open to you. The only thing you can't use is a specific card made for a Phoenix-born. You have to use that particular Phoenix-born. Everything else is wide open as long as you put the die in to pay for it. Use it.
But you need to be, and that's where the deck building came in, is knowing how many dice you needed to make those effects be manageable, to be able to use those. And that's very important. Once again, we didn't play it enough to get good at it.
No, I played the mess out of it, and I was bad at it. I did. I played against our buddy Mark. I played against people at work. And my mind, like I said, rules.
You love it.
I love it. I love the art. I love everything about it. I'm just not good.
And that's fine.
So if anybody wants an easy game of Ashes, challenge me.
There you go. And it seems like every time 10 dice roll, look, 9 commons. Oh, good gosh.
Yeah, well, then you can do the meditate where you change die at any side you want. So meditate is basically discard a card from your spell board, your hand, or your deck. Start modifying die. So they do have a rule against bad die rolls. So there you go. Plaid Hat Games coming out of the gate with a relaunch of Summoner Wars that's going to be out in May. I believe Ashes is coming. No, Ashes is at Miniature Market right now because I just saw it advertised in their latest email. So Ashes is available at Miniature Market. In fact, let me see what the price is. This is the part where I go and look up stuff, and this part will be edited right out, but it'll sound like I know it like right off the top of my head.
And I could help him, but why should I?
Doo-ga-doo-ga-doo. Where's the master set? Boom. No, wait. In fact, the Ashes is available in Miniature Market right now because I saw it in an email, and it's there for $39.99. Get all your 6 factions in that box. You're ready to go. If you want the, if you already have the base set and you just want to get the, what's it called? The upgrade kit, it is currently out of stock at Miniature Market. It's $23.99, but keep an eye on teamcovenant.com site because they were the original ones that had it. So if you got a bunch of cards from the past, don't need to buy this original set. You just need to get the upgrade kit. And also Team Covenant has a subscription to this too, to where anytime a new Phoenix-born comes out, a new deck comes out, you will automatically get it. The new die was announced and released this month with the new born, so I haven't tried that one yet, but that is out too. And a lot of the older decks are being redone, and you can get those. My gosh! In fact, a lot of them are right now over at Miniature Market. Holy cow!
And while a
lot of those are in stock right now, so there you go.
And while you're at Miniature Market, be sure to go get those little pocket thingies with the Velcro stuff in them. They'll help carry your Phoenix-born decks
around.
And they got little pockets in them so you can stick your dice in them. Really cool. And it's at miniaturemarket.com.
They double pay for that one?
Do they pay for the first one? I don't know. After that crud we just did, I doubt it. All right.
Outro. It's going to be short. Nobody asks any questions, so...
Well, I wasn't. Were you paying attention?
I was trying to. They were just basically laughing at us and telling us that Tony needs wall art or something.
I put that in the notes.
You need wall art?
Yeah, I put that for the comments. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
right.
Kick it off for me. Be short.
This will be short. This will be sweet. All right, here we go. And we have come to another riveting end to rolling dice and taking names. We'd like to say,
that's kind of a strong word.
It's not a strong word. It's a word. It's all we need to worry about. We appreciate everybody hanging in there with us for the 2 hours and 25 minutes of what it takes to put a show together that gets compressed down to this one's going to probably be about an hour and a half.
I don't know if I can compress it down that much.
You might be able to.
We covered a lot of content in this episode, but yeah,
we got our. We got to shorten up those intros. We got.
Well, there's so much stuff to talk about. That's where all the fun stuff is. That's where the
Oh.
food and the lawnmowers are and everything.
Do you know if we got rid of half of that, the show could really get back down to its original dream of an hour, hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah, that's true. But then if all we did was talk about board games, it would be an extremely short show, and then nobody would listen anymore because our
Nah.
opinions on board games don't carry a lot of weight.
I don't know. I have received some nice comments where, if it's a game that like Don and I don't like, some people have said, that's a good litmus test for them. I'm not going to mention any names here on one of them that we did play recently. And both of us looked at one another about halfway through it. And I looked at her and said, "Are you done?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm done." And it was just a game that we have discovered that we've played a similar type mechanics of this type of game, and we just don't like it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's one of those things with like, or some people may love that because it has that mechanics. You may not,
Mm-hmm.
like with Spartacus, right? If you're
Mm-hmm.
not into player interaction, which maybe I'm not into, then Spartacus may not be as much of an interest to you. But then other people who like that memorable experience, head pounding game, they may get into it. So no, that totally makes sense. It doesn't make a game bad, right? It's just that
No,
not every game is for everybody.
absolutely. And some of the simpler games are right up my alley. Everybody's like, "How can you enjoy such a simple game like that?" Hey, simple minds, simple pleasures. What can I say? There's no doubt about it. Now let's go to some of the questions that got posted over there in the old Twitcher chat system that they got out there. First off, the room I'm in. This is my daughter's bedroom in the house, and she's in college and she's at law school now. And so basically, it is nothing more than a desk that we got from a neighbor, and all that's in front of me, and then a mattress that's behind me. Because when we moved, we didn't decorate it or anything. Everything is in boxes over in the corner, don't care. And so everybody's like, "Well, maybe we should do that." No, because this is still her bedroom when she comes home, if she ever comes home to visit. So it's this kind of like, it's the way my wife likes it. This is kind of like where I can go and do the recording. It's quiet, and my wife does not hear me get loud. So that's why it's kind of barren in here. And then maybe, someday this could become the board game room. Who knows? But we'll
Hey,
see.
you got a game topper to start. Just need to throw some legs on it, and you're done.
Absolutely. That's at GameToppersLLC.com.
Did you pay for that one too?
No.
Oh, okay, that one's free. And somebody asked us like, "Are you guys retired?" And like, no, we are not retired. I know we look like we should be retired, but we're not. You what? Do you think this would be able to pay bills?
No.
No. That is.
No. When is your retirement date? How many more
I
years?
have no idea. I have no idea.
I've got.
I don't have a time.
You don't. Man, I'm looking at it. I'm thinking 8 to 10. Sounds like I should be in prison, but no, it's probably about.
Okay, what you looking at? I got another 8 to 10. Get on
Got it.
parole after that, hopefully.
I'm looking at that insurance payment. That's the big thing. That medical. Let's see what that's going to be like. That will determine retirement date right there. I know one thing. My retirement place that I want to go to, the beach. I can't afford a house out there. Man.
All right, now you can't. Geesh, you can't afford a house anywhere. That's why Vanessa's like saying we need to sell, and it's like, well, we're going to have to rent somewhere because we sure ain't going to be buying anything. And she's like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I just saw over in the chat, Mari, somebody said they got under 3 years. Todd, congratulations. I swear.
So I will say that this probably was one of our longer episodes. I don't know how that happened. I think it was because we got to play a lot of really cool games recently. And Tony, this coming week or in the next couple weeks, we get to check out one of our favorite designers of all time, Martin Wallace, has a game.
Yes.
Rocket Men, which has deck building. I've heard some good things about, and a new game from Z-Man that I've heard good things about. I believe it's a worker placement game. Is that correct? Cryo.
It's a drone placement.
So effectively a worker placement, right?
Yes, you're sending the drones out. I love the theme of it of the ship has sabotaged and crashed on a frozen planet, but yet underneath the frozen crust, there are these caverns that can take care of the life that you have brought with you. So you've got to get them off the ship or they freeze. I'm like, oh, I love this. Death and despair. I'm looking forward to it. I've made it through. Last night I was watching the YouTube Watch It Played video on how to play it. I needed to fall asleep, and
Was it bad that as Rodney was teaching me coin, I was like,
oh,
no, I'm
we
kidding.
love the
I'm
guy.
kidding.
Love
I'm
the
kidding.
guy.
That was not the guy. I could not fall asleep on that one. I was having to pay attention on Cuba Libre.
Yes. So no, I was watching, but then was going to go cook dinner. So while I was making hamburger patties, he was telling me about how to, set up the board game. And I was going through it. I'm like, this setup is going to take forever. So I got to get it ready, prepped to go, and also make sure that I want to play my round so I can teach it to y'all. But once again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's easy.
Oh my Lord! Did y'all hear our review last time of what was that? Evacuation. No, evacuation. See, you got me
Excavation.
saying excavation Earth, Mister. Y'all, this is easy. I'm
This is
serious.
easy.
This is easy. Just play.
Playing a card.
Just play a card, and that's it.
That was that game.
Thanks to you, that tainted that game for me.
I'm sorry. It was good, though. It's just something about it.
It was very interesting. I will say that. But, I mean, it was like, this is more of a brain burn than what I was expecting.
It was a bait and switch. Because I to be honest, when I was reading the rules, I'm like, this isn't that hard. Look, it's big print. I can follow this. And then it was just like, boom, swapped on me. I was like, oh, my heavens. Especially when you got other people playing it. It suddenly became a deal. Something you had to figure out right then and there, and it became more than what you originally read the rules of. So I'm excited to be getting Cryro, and then I'm sure there'll be something else that hopefully will show up. I know we got our miniature market order in. I'm excited for you to get that.
I've got a box in the car of your stuff.
Excellent.
For a miniature market, because the market you can put stuff on hold, which has been since December. Till we got to the free shipping limit. Don't roll your eyes, man. Till we got to the free shipping limit, and then we had it shipped out.
I'm glad that you did. And I am looking forward to a lot of people are doing a lot of spring cleaning right now around here where they're selling out their games. I almost had to go snag me another copy of Azul stained, get a copy of Azul stained glass, but I haven't done that yet. But I will say this.
What's that?
I need to go kill me some monsters on some Monster Hunters. So it's time to roll some dice.
And take some names. So let me do the outro bit. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And like I said, this was a live episode. And thanks for those who sat in there with us. Remember, Golden Geek nominations are up right now. So if you wouldn't mind going and giving us a vote, we'd really appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at Dyson Names, Instagram Dyson Names, and join us next episode. We promise to try to keep it. Do you have a stinger, or I can do the burp thing that I did?
I'm good with that. The burp thing, I can't think of anything off the
think
top.
so.
I'm just reading the comments here. Let's see.
So here's the part of the stinger. We don't have this planned out, but at the end of the episode, if there was a big mistake in the episode, that'll be the stinger. Sometimes we try to come up with an idea. So
okay, 3, 2, 1. Chevy, you're awesome. Ben, you're amazing. Julia, send me some art. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Everybody that stayed with us, thank you so much. I'm just reading the Twitch names as they're flying across on the live chat.
I think we'll stick with the burp. So that's it. All 3 commercials are run, so I'm going to stop the recorder.
Oh, were we supposed to start it?
Yeah, that's happened before. So we are stopping the recorder. So, wow, we had a lot of people stay tuned the entire episode. Thank you so much to everybody that joined us. That was a lot of fun. It was one of those things I was trying to stay focused on what we were doing, but I kept kind of looking over and seeing the comments and everything. So it was cool that y'all were interacting with each other and everything like that. And if you enjoyed it, maybe we'll do it again. I mean, for us, it's really nothing but turning on the cameras and just what we just did. For sure, Tony, we'll do it when we get the Pepsi Peep. We'll do a live. Okay. We'll do a live episode for that one. That was neat. Ding from Chevy. Chevy gets a ding.
Okay. So I'm just thinking through this. I'm
What?
planning out all the. Yeah, this will go offline. We'll talk about vacations and travel and all this other good stuff.
Are you getting ready to go on vacation?
First week in May, no, first week in May, and then we got some other stuff coming up. So, hey, it's that time where we just go and sit in somebody else's house.
So here we go, having to record like 3 weeks in advance of other stuff. So
Or I'll be recording at that house that has Wi-Fi. So simple.
There you go. Yeah, there's a solution. So thanks again for everybody who what you got there. Oh, that's the board for after the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Try and put it back together as I was digging into it.
Again, for everybody watching, if you wouldn't mind going out to and thanks again.
Just sign off. Just sign off. Say, this is it. We're out of here.
All right. Good night, everybody.